Chapter 113. Head Escort. There's an expert helping us secretly to kill the 9 rank 4 demonic beasts. Old Wu whispered in Ren Tianxing's ear. So that's how it is. Ren Tianxing's eyes revealed a hint of surprise, and he secretly heaved a sigh of relief. Old Wu, you guys block the silver light python. I'll deal with the scarlet flame tiger first. Ren Tianxing ordered. His eyes were filled with a strong desire to fight. He held the black heavy sword in his hand, and his innate true gang was boundless. He charged forward with an imposing manner. Myriad waves! Ren Tianxing shouted. The black heavy sword emitted a dark sword light. Powerful Xiantian qi surged out like waves. Endless sword qi accompanied the black heavy sword as it fell. It was as if heaven and earth had been turned upside down. It enveloped the scarlet flame tiger. There were a total of 4 moves in the Skyline sword art: 10 slash, 100 thunder flash, 1000 mountain break, and myriad waves. Myriad waves was the ultimate move of the Skyline sword art. Although it was only a black martial art, it exploded with terrifying power under Ren Tianxing's Grandmaster realm strength. Roar! The scarlet flame tiger seemed to have also sensed the powerful energy contained within this attack. It let out a loud roar that shook the mountain forest. A blazing light shot out from its mouth, and a huge fireball that flickered with resplendent sparks shot towards Ren Tianxing like a small sun. Boom! The 10,000 waves slashed down on the huge fireball. Suddenly, an endless amount of sword qi burst out. The flames exploded with a loud bang. The incomparably sharp sword qi was unparalleled. Its momentum was astonishing. Countless plants in the surroundings were shot into pieces. Bang! Although the huge fireball exploded, there was a round demonic core in it. It contained an extremely violent force. When it hit the black heavy sword, Ren Tianxing spat out a mouthful of blood and flew back dozens of feet. Accompanied by a violent roar, the terrifying sword qi of the myriad waves left behind hundreds of bloody marks on the scarlet flame tiger's body, causing it to bleed profusely. It was in incomparable pain, and its eyes surged with madness and bloodthirsty killing intent. Go to hell! Ren Tianxing's robe fluttered in the wind as his battle-intent soared to the extreme. His eyes were sharp as he wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and charged forward with the black heavy sword. Although the flaming tiger was a 5th-rank demonic beast, it was only at the early stage of the 5th-rank demonic beast. Its battle prowess was on par with Ren Tianxing's. The man and the beast were fighting with all their might. Rumble! Ren Tianxing and the scarlet flame tiger rampaged through the forest and collided a few more times. The ground rumbled as more wounds were left on their bodies. Swoosh! Swoosh swoosh! As for Ling Xiao, who was sitting in the middle, a sharp glint flashed in his eyes. He flicked his finger and a few invisible sword qis silently shot towards the scarlet flame tiger in the dark night. Using the heaven-devouring true qi to perform the divine flicking finger, Ling Xiao's invisible sword qi was steady, accurate, and as fast as lightning. Coupled with the cover of the night, the scarlet flame tiger, who was fighting with Ren Tianxing, did not notice. Boom! Boom! Swoosh ash 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 ash! Swoosh! 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 Roar! The scarlet flame tiger let out an earth-shattering shriek. A violent demonic aura was emitted from its body as it frantically attacked its surroundings. Ren Tianxing's eyes flashed. He sensed that something was wrong with the scarlet flame tiger. But when he thought of the expert hiding in the dark, he knew that this was a great opportunity. 10,000 waves! Ren Tianxing didn't hesitate any longer. He poured all his Xiantian gang qi into his black sword. Violent sword qi exploded. He slashed down with his sword. It was as if a boundless ocean was crashing down. Its momentum was astonishing. Boom! Although the scarlet flame tiger was crazily attacking, it couldn't block Ren Tianxing's attack. Swoosh! 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 The scarlet flame tiger was dead. On the other side, although Old Wu and the other 3 had barely managed to hold back the giant silver python, it was extremely strenuous for them. They had already fallen into a disadvantageous position and were bitterly resisting. Bastard die! Ren Tianxing roared. Wielding his black sword, he took large strides towards the silver light python. The situation on the battlefield changed drastically. The Heaven Escort Agency, which had been in danger, started to take the initiative to kill those demonic beasts. After the death of 1 5th-rank demonic beast and 9 4th-rank demonic beasts, the remaining demonic beasts were no match for the Heavenly Escort Agency. Soon, blood flowed like a river as they fled in all directions. Who exactly is helping? Ren Qingluo, who had been observing the situation on the battlefield, had a look of suspicion in her eyes. From the time the spider demon beast was killed to the inexplicable deaths of all the 4th-rank demon beasts, especially the 5th-rank demon beast, the Scarlet Flame Tiger. She could tell that Ren Tianxing and the Scarlet Flame Tiger were on par with each other. If Ren Tianxing wanted to kill the Scarlet Flame Tiger, it would not be so easy. He would definitely have to pay a huge price. However, the Crimson Flame Tiger inexplicably went berserk and lost its ability to resist. In the end, it was beheaded by Ren Tianxing. The expert who acted in the dark was too terrifying. He didn't even show himself, but he had already turned the situation around. Could it really be him? In the end, Ren Qingluo's gaze still landed on Ling Zhao's body. Although she felt that this thought of hers was ridiculous, after all, Ling Zhao was only a youth whose meridians were all broken. How could he possibly possess such shocking battle strength? However, she had a faint feeling in her heart that this matter must have something to do with Ling Zhao. It had to be said that a woman's sixth sense was very frightening. Ling Zhao did not notice that Ren Qingluo was observing him. Other than secretly killing the demonic beasts, he spent most of his energy on his mental strength. Ling Zhao's mental strength, which was comparable to that of a middle-ranked alchemy master, spread out. He could clearly sense everything within 1,000 feet radius. Ling Zhao was investigating the location of the mastermind. The next day, the Heaven Escort Agency would leave the fearsome Beast Mountain range and return to Qinghua City. Tonight was the best time for an ambush. Since the mastermind wanted to deal with the Heaven Escort Agency, he would definitely not miss this battle with the demonic beasts. The mastermind had placed the demonic soul stone among the escorted goods to attract the demonic beasts to attack the Heaven Escort Agency. He wanted to use the demonic beasts to weaken the Heaven Escort Agency's plan and finally kill them in one blow. So it's here. The corner of Ling Zhao's mouth twitched, and a glimmer of light flashed in his eyes. On top of an ancient tree 1,000 feet away, more than 20 men in black were hiding. They hid very cleverly, and their auras were faintly discernible. They were observing the situation of the battle. If it wasn't for Ling Zhao's powerful mental strength, he wouldn't have been able to discover their tracks. Chapter 114. 1,000 feet away. On an ancient tree, a black-clothed old man's eyes were shining. His aura was as deep as the sea, unfathomable. Next to him was a young man in his 20s. His face was very similar to the old man's, and his eyes were full of eagerness. In front of the two of them stood a handsome young man. His face was like jade, and his eyes were like stars. He was extremely handsome. At this moment, he was holding a folding fan and standing on a tree branch as steady as Mount Tai. It was clear that he had a high cultivation level. The black-clothed old man and the young man in his 20s looked at the young man in front of them with eyes full of respect. "It's about time. Wang Wei, get ready to move." The handsome young man closed his folding fan and said lightly, "Yes." The black-clothed old man, Wang Wei, looked serious and said respectfully. However, the black-clothed young man asked doubtfully, "Young Master Ouyang, aren't you afraid of losing the demonic stone when you put it in the escort goods? Also, with your combat strength, that old man Ren Tianxing is no match for you. Why do you have to do this?" How dare you? Is this something you should ask?" Wang Wei's expression changed slightly as he scolded the black-clothed young man. The black-clothed young man was his son, Wang Zhe. Seeing that Wang Zhe didn't know what was important, Wang Wei was afraid that he would accidentally anger Ouyang Yu. If that happened, the father and son's lives would be in danger. Wang Wei knew very well that the handsome young man in front of him, Ouyang Yu, was a ruthless person. Most importantly, Wang Wei vaguely guessed Ouyang Yu's origin, which made his heart tremble. Moreover, Ouyang Yu's cultivation was unfathomable. Wang Wei, who was at level 1 of the Grandmaster realm, couldn't even withstand one move from him. It's okay. Since you want to know, I'll tell you. Ouyang Yu wasn't angry. He smiled faintly and said, "The demonic stone is mysterious and unpredictable. Even I don't know its use. I only know that it will attract demonic beasts and cause them to go crazy. How can it be lost when it's in the escort goods under my watch? As for the Heaven Escort Agency, it's not as simple as you think. I'm trying my best to lure the demonic beasts to attack. I don't just want to kill the people of the Heaven Escort Agency." Ouyang Yu didn't continue speaking. His eyes revealed a trace of crazy excitement. At the thought of his plan succeeding, his heart was filled with excitement. Remember, your goal is to kill everyone except for the sisters. As long as the Heavenly Escort Agency is destroyed, your Hui Escort Agency will naturally be able to dominate Qinghua City. But let me warn you first. If anyone dares to disobey me, I will make sure that they die without a burial ground. In the end, Ouyang Yu's voice emitted endless coldness, causing Wang Wei and Wang Zhe to shiver, and they hurriedly replied respectfully. "Don't worry, young master. This time, our Hui Escort Agency will send out all the elites. We will definitely wipe out the Heaven Escort Agency in one fell swoop." The Heavenly Escort Agency's combat strength is indeed not bad. They actually managed to kill a 5th-ranked demonic beast and 9 4th-ranked demonic beasts? Ouyang Yu's eyes flashed with a trace of demonic light, and his face also revealed a trace of surprise. Originally, he thought that even if this wave of demonic beasts could not destroy the Heavenly Escort Agency, they would still suffer heavy casualties. However, he did not expect them to be able to unleash such a strong fighting spirit. Observing from such a distance, even Ouyang Yu didn't find anything wrong with the deaths of those monstrous beasts. What? Wang Wei and Wang Zhe's faces revealed a trace of horror. A 5th-ranked demonic beast and 9 4th-ranked demonic beasts were killed? One must know that the Heaven Escort Agency only had Ren Tianxing and 4 Dragon Tiger Realm experts left. Logically speaking, they should have suffered heavy casualties. How could this be the result? In Qinghua City, the Hui Escort Agency and the Heaven Escort Agency were on par with each other in terms of strength. The competition had always been fierce, and both agencies wanted to become the ruler of Qinghua City. Wang Wei's cultivation was the same as Ren Tianxing's, at level 1 of the Grandmaster Realm. He also had 8 Dragon Tiger Realm escorts under him, and this time, he brought all of them with him. Wang Wei thought that if the Hui Escort Agency had gone all out, they would not have been able to achieve such a powerful result. Thinking of this, Wang Wei's heart became more cautious and fearful. So what if your cultivation is strong? If this is the case, my plan will be even more perfect. I wonder if your benefactor is in a tight encirclement. Will you help him? Ouyang Yu looked in a certain direction in the distance, and a trace of a demonic smile appeared in his eyes. Let's do our best to kill Ren Tianxing. Ouyang Yu said indifferently. He looked at Wang Wei and the others with a trace of pity in his eyes. Who knew how many people would be left after this battle with these cannons? Wang Wei's spirit shook. Looking at the black-robed men behind him, he shouted in a low voice, "Brothers, follow me. Kill Ren Tianxing and destroy the Heaven Escort Agency. In the future, Qinghua City will belong to the Hui Escort Agency." The men in black replied in unison, and a trace of cruel killing intent appeared in their eyes. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Wang Wei took the lead and swept across the sky. The men in black followed behind him, and cold killing intent filled the air as they rushed in the direction of the Heaven Escort Agency. Can't wait to take action? Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. Under his powerful spiritual perception, the group of men in black who were hiding in the dark quickly swept over. Since that's the case, you can go to hell too. Ling Zhao's eyes shone brightly. He formed a seal with his hands, and wisps of heaven-devouring true qi were like the sharpest sword qi. In an instant, they turned into countless invisible sword qi and rushed toward the silver light python. Under the siege of Ren Tianxing, Old Wu, and the others, the silver light python was gradually at a disadvantage. Although its body was huge and its strength was unparalleled, It was still suppressed by Ren Tianxing's skyline sword skill. However, its body was covered in silver light, and the snake scales had strong defensive power. When the weapons of Ren Tianxing and the others landed on its body, they were unable to break through the defense of the snake scales. However, Ling Xiao knew that the real weak points of the silver light python were the 7 inches and the soft parts of its abdomen. Although the silver light python was trying its best to protect these weak points, it did not notice Ling Xiao's invisible sword qi. A few streaks of blood flashed, and the silver light python hissed miserably. Its body twisted violently, and it attacked everywhere as though it had gone mad. Ren Tianxing's eyes flashed, and he seized the opportunity to cut off the silver light python's head with a sword. Fresh blood stained the ground, and the huge body of the silver light python fell to the ground, completely dead. As for the other demonic beasts, they fled in all directions after being killed by the escorts of the Heaven Escort Agency. In the end, they left a ground full of corpses and fled in all directions. Chapter 115. Did we win? All the demonic beasts are dead. All hail the head escort. All hail the head escort. The numerous escorts of the Skyline Escort Agency began to cheer with joy on their faces, as if they had just survived a calamity. After this battle, almost all of them were exhausted. They sat on the ground with blood all over their bodies, but they could not hide the excitement on their faces. They all knew that the demonic beasts were either dead or had escaped. This meant that they were completely safe now. As long as the next day dawned, they would be able to leave this mountain range filled with death and return to Qinghua City. After killing the silver python, Ren Tianxing was drenched in sweat. His face was pale and he was panting. He had used up a lot of his true qi. However, when he and Old Wu looked at each other, joy could be seen in their eyes, and they heaved a sigh of relief in their hearts. Who is it? However, at this moment, Ren Tianxing's expression changed. With his Grandmaster Realm cultivation, he was very sensitive to his surroundings. Ren Tianxing sensed dozens of extremely powerful auras, emitting cold, killing intent, approaching them quickly. Clang. Ren Tianxing pulled out his black sword and looked at the dark forest in the distance cautiously. Old Wu and the others were also shocked. They stood up from the ground, picked up their weapons, and slashed at Ren Tianxing's back. The atmosphere became extremely tense in an instant. Ren Tianxing, I didn't expect your senses to be so sharp after going through so many battles. However, all of you will die today. An old and arrogant voice came out, shaking the mountain forest. It was full of energy. From the dark mountain forest, a black-clothed old man came out. He held a black saber in his hand, and his whole body emitted a cold and violent aura. It was as if he was a demon god that came out from the darkness. Swoosh, swoosh. At the same time, dozens of black-clothed men flew through the air and stood behind the black-clothed old man in a row. Each of them held a black saber in their hands. Their bodies were filled with killing intent, and their eyes were surging with cold killing intent. What? It's you! Ren Tianxing exclaimed. His expression instantly became extremely unsightly. Ling Zhao's words appeared in his mind. He connected the strange process of receiving the demonic beasts and the strange attack of the demonic beasts together. He understood everything in a flash. It turned out that the mastermind behind the scenes was Wang Wei. Head of Huwei Escort Agency, Wang Wei. You schemed to hide demon soul stones in the escorted goods, luring the demon beasts in the fearsome Beast Mountain range to attack my heavenly escort agency. You hid in the dark and waited for an opportunity to strike. Finally, when my heavenly escort agency and the demon beasts were both injured, you took the opportunity to capture us all in one fell swoop. Wang Wei, what a great trick! What kind of enmity does my heaven escort agency have with you that you want to kill me? Ren Tianxing laughed out of anger, his voice incomparably sorrowful. So that demon stone is called a demon soul stone? Hee, Ren Tianxing, your guess is right. I'm going to wipe out your entire heavenly escort agency. 10 years ago, my Tiger Might escort agency dominated Qinghua City. It was you who came to Qinghua City and established the Skywalker Escort Agency. You blocked my Tiger Might Escort agency's path to wealth and took away more than half of our business. Blocking someone's path to wealth is like killing their parents. So you must die, all of you must die. As long as your heavenly escort agency is wiped out, Qinghua City will be in the hands of the Tiger Might Escort agency. Wang Wei was stunned, but then he sneered. The murderous intent in his eyes was almost tangible. Wang Wei, you only said that my father took away your business. But 5 years ago, you were escorting in the fearsome Beast Mountain range and were seriously injured. If it wasn't for my father saving you, you would have been buried in the demon's stomach. Now you're repaying kindness with enmity. You want to kill my father and destroy my heavenly escort agency. Do you still have a conscience? Cruel and unscrupulous people will be punished by the heavens. Rin Qingluo walked out. Her pretty face was extremely pale, but she was very stubborn and said in a cold voice. A trace of shame appeared on Wang Wei's face, but it disappeared in a flash. Instead, he became angry out of humiliation and said, "Your father saved me, but he's just a hypocrite. When I was seriously injured, how much business did your heavenly escort agency steal from us? I went to your house to ask for your daughter's hand in marriage on behalf of Zhe, but your father refused and humiliated me. I've long since sworn that I'm irreconcilable with your heavenly escort agency. So, there's no need to say anything more. You're all going to die today." Wang Wei, even the demonic beasts in the fearsome Beast Mountain range aren't as despicable and shameless as you. Since that's the case, there's no point in talking anymore. Let's fight. Even if my heavenly escort agency is annihilated today, I'll make you pay the price. Ren Tianxing sneered. His eyes were filled with the will to die. A powerful and unparalleled aura spread out. The black heavy sword was pointed at Wang Wei, swallowing and spitting out sharp cold light. That's right. Countless of our brothers were killed by these despicable people. Today, we'll pay with blood. Kill, kill, kill. Old Wu's eyes were wide open in anger. He roared and the mountain-splitting axe fell to the ground, causing the earth to shake violently. Blood for blood. Kill, kill, kill. The eyes of the heavenly escort agency's men were also filled with blood-red light. The originally low morale began to rise as they let out earth-shattering roars. What a piece of trash. If he had attacked from the beginning, the heavenly escort agency's men would have died. He actually managed to arouse the other party's fighting spirit. What a fool. However, this is also good. The longer this drags on, the more beneficial it is to my plan. Oh Yang Yu, who was in the distance, had a mocking look in his eyes. He looked in a certain direction in the distance. His figure flashed and disappeared into the forest like a ghost. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. He felt like he was being spied on. However, the spying gaze came from thousands of feet away. It was beyond the range of his mental strength, so Ling Zhao wasn't sure if it was just his imagination. Could there be a conspiracy behind this? Ling Zhao's heart skipped a beat. He thought of the demonic soul stone. The Tiger Escort Agency couldn't possibly take out such a treasure. It seemed like things were getting more and more complicated. Ling Zhao squinted his eyes. He had a premonition that all the riddles would be revealed soon. Attack! Wang Wei's expression changed. He knew that he couldn't wait any longer. He let out a low roar and slashed the ghost head saber in his hand. Black ominous aura filled the air, and ghostly wails and howls were emitted. It emitted a fluctuation that caused one's mind to go haywire. It was as if there were really countless phantoms of ghosts descending upon the crowd. Profound class peerless martial technique, Ghost King Saber technique. Under Wang Wei's control, his entire body was filled with ominous aura. It was as if he had really transformed into a ghost king from hell, ready to reap all lives. 1,000 Mountains Break. Chapter 116. Boom. As the sword and saber collided, a dazzling light burst out in the void. The violent Xiantian Gang Qi surged in all directions, and there was a loud explosion in the air. Wang Wei and Ren Tianxing were both at LV1 of the Grandmaster realm, but Ren Tianxing had gone through a great battle and killed 2 rank 5 demonic beasts, the red flame tiger and the silver light python. At this moment, More than half of his Xiantiangang qi had been consumed, and he had not recovered at all. Therefore, after this blow, Wang Wei did not move, but Ren Tianxing took a dozen steps back, and his face was abnormally red. Ren Tianxing, is this all you've got left? Since that's the case, then die. Wang Wei sneered. He knew that Ren Tianxing had consumed a lot of his energy in the previous battle, and now he only had 20 to 30% of his strength left. As the saying goes, take your life when you're sick. Wang Wei held the ghost head saber, and the cold saber light was dazzling. The saber hummed and trembled, and a black murderous aura filled the air. With a burst of ghostly cries and howls, Wang Wei slashed at Ren Tianxing. The Ghost King saber technique was strange and ruthless. Every slash was accompanied by ghostly cries and howls, which were unpredictable and impossible to resist. In the end, one would die tragically under the saber. If Ren Tianxing was at his peak, he would not be afraid of the strange sounds of the Ghost King saber technique, but now he had less than 10% of his strength left. Soon, he was at a disadvantage and could only bitterly resist. Except for Ren Qingluo and Ren Qingyu, kill everyone else. Wang Zhe said coldly. The other black-clothed men responded loudly and rushed toward Old Wu and the others. There's a strange guy. Wang Zhe's eyes flashed as he saw Ling Xiao sitting in the center. He immediately laughed and rushed forward with his saber. Brother Ling Xiao, what should we do? What should we do? There's a big bad guy coming. Saw Wang Zhe rushing over, and her face turned pale. She grabbed Ling Xiao's arm and said anxiously, don't worry. He can't hurt us. Ling Xiao smiled and patted Yu's little head, comforting her. Wang Zhe, if you dare to touch my sister, I'll kill you. In the distance, Ren Qingluo also saw Wang Zhe walking towards Ling Xiao and Yu. She immediately cried out loudly, and an extremely anxious expression appeared on her face. She unsheathed the long sword on her back and was about to rush over. Qingluo, don't worry. I won't harm you. You and Yu are both my precious treasures. How could I harm you? But this brat deserves to die. Wang Zhe laughed heartily, and his gaze towards Ling Xiao revealed a trace of cold killing intent. Are you so sure that you can kill me? Ling Xiao said indifferently, his expression extremely calm. What? Wang Zhe's expression changed. He only saw Ling Xiao's finger move. Instantly, two formless sword qi streaked across the air, emitting a chilling sharpness. This time, Ling Xiao didn't try to hide anything and directly attacked. The formless sword qi emitted a monstrous murderous aura and shot towards Wang Zhe. Wang Zhe's face revealed an extremely shocked expression. He only had time to hold his saber horizontally, and two invisible sword qis shot over. With a crisp sound, the saber was directly shattered into several pieces, and Wang Zhe was also hit by an unparalleled divine power and was sent flying. Wang Zhe spat out a mouthful of blood and his face instantly turned pale. What? It's really him. In the distance, Ren Qingluo saw everything very clearly. Ling Xiao only moved his finger and the battle blade in Wang Zhe's hand broke into several pieces. Wang Zhe was also sent flying. Wang Zhe was at the 9th level of the spirit transformation realm, but he couldn't even withstand a single blow from Ling Xiao. At the same time, Ling Xiao's attack confirmed Ren Qingluo's guess. The person who secretly attacked during the battle with the demonic beasts was Ling Xiao. Weren't all his meridians broken? How could he be so strong? Ren Qingluo's beautiful eyes were filled with light. Her mouth was wide open, and her face was filled with disbelief. At this moment, Ling Xiao became extremely mysterious in her heart. Another formless sword qi shot out and Wang Zhe's forehead bloomed with blood. His eyes were filled with disbelief and unwillingness as he fell to the ground and died. After killing Wang Zhe, Ling Xiao was like squashing an ant. He was extremely casual and didn't even look at him. Take care of you, heir, and leave the rest to me. Ling Xiao walked to Ren Qingluo's side and handed Yu heir, who was in his arms, to her with a faint smile. Oh, okay. Ren Qingluo agreed and carried Yu in her arms. Ling Xiao walked towards the center of the arena. Big sister, big brother Ling Xiao is so powerful. That big bad guy was instantly killed by him. Look, he's going to save Daddy. Yu Er blinked her big eyes and spoke excitedly. This immediately awakened Ren Qingluo from her daze. Ren Qingluo suddenly turned around. Ling Xiao was wearing white and looked very confident and casual as he walked toward the center of the battlefield. A black-robed man charged at him. His spirit transformation realm cultivation erupted and poured into his blade. He slashed down at Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao didn't even look at him and casually sent out a palm. There was a flash of golden light and the black-robed man let out a miserable cry. The blade in his hand broke and his chest caved in. He flew more than 100 feet before he fell to the ground and stopped breathing. Behind him, two black-robed men's eyes flashed with killing intent and charged at Ling Xiao from the left and right. Ling Xiao's feet moved and he retreated more than 100 feet like a ghost. He stood between the two black-robed men and then his two palms landed on the necks of the black-robed men, causing them to fall to the ground. Furthermore, with a kacha sound, their necks were completely broken. Just like that, Ling Xiao casually walked forward. His target was the place where Ren Tianxing and Wang Wei were fighting. Along the way, none of the men in black who charged at him were his match. They all died at his hands in an instant. Oh my god, Brother Ling Xiao is actually so abnormal? It looks like the one who attacked just now was Ling Xiao. I didn't expect this brat to have hidden his strength so deeply. Old Wu and the other three also opened their mouths wide and their eyes were filled with disbelief. Ling Xiao's attack shocked everyone. That kind of ease, confidence, and ease made killing seem like an art in his hands. He casually took one life after another. Those black-robed men were at least spirit transformation realm cultivators. There were even quite a few dragon tiger realm cultivators, but they all died at Ling Xiao's hands. It looks like the Tiger Might Escort Agency kicked an iron plate this time. My Skyline Escort Agency is saved. Chapter 117. Father is right. He really isn't an ordinary person. Who is he? Ren Qingluo's eyes glowed. She felt that Ling Xiao was becoming more and more mysterious. Looking at Ling Xiao's handsome back, she couldn't help but blush. Zay, you actually killed my Zay. Little bastard, I'm going to kill you. Wang Wei, who was fighting with Ren Tianxing, also noticed the commotion. When he looked over, his expression changed drastically. Wang Zai was lying on the grass with his eyes wide open. He was no longer breathing. Wang Wei's eyes were filled with flames of fury. He immediately roared and looked at Ling Xiao with eyes full of hatred. The hatred of his son's death was irreconcilable. You can't kill me. You'll be able to see your son soon. Ling Xiao said indifferently. With a slap, the golden heaven-devouring true qi exploded and slammed the head of a black-clothed man into his body. Blood splattered everywhere. However, Ling Xiao's white robe was not stained with any blood. Go to hell! Wang Wei was so angry that he went completely berserk. He slashed out and forced Ren Tianxing to retreat. Then he pounced on Ling Xiao. Boom! Heaven and earth shook. Black light filled the air. The ghost head saber swept across the sky. Unparalleled saber radiance poured down and enveloped Ling Xiao. This little brother Ling. Ren Tianxing was also stunned at this moment. When he saved Ling Xiao, although he felt that Ling Xiao's identity was not ordinary, he didn't expect Ling Xiao to have such powerful combat strength. It was as if he had turned the entire battle around with his own strength. Head escort, the person who secretly attacked in the battle with the demonic beasts just now, was also Brother Ling Xiao. We didn't expect Brother Ling Xiao to be the one who pretended to be weak. Huey Escort Agency is going to be defeated this time. This is fucking exciting. Old Wu smacked his lips and waved the mountain-splitting axe in his hand. He said while fighting with a black-clothed man in the Dragon Tiger realm in front of him. Yes, we didn't expect this. Ren Tianxing sighed. At the same time, he felt a sense of relief. He was glad that he was kind enough to save Ling Xiao. Otherwise, the Heaven Escort Agency would have been wiped out in today's crisis. The sound of ghosts wailing and wolves howling filled the air, and there was a kind of fluctuation that caused people to go insane. However, in the face of Wang Wei's furious attack, Ling Xiao's expression remained calm. His eyes suddenly emitted an incomparably powerful battle intent. Boom! A violent aura burst out from Ling Xiao's body. His heaven-devouring true qi shone brightly and condensed on his fist. It was like a small sun as he punched out. This punch was like a bolt of lightning that soared through the sky, and it emitted the fist Tao concept of Vajra annihilation. It was grand, vast, and peerlessly ferocious as it met the ghost head blade head-on. Wang Wei was the perfect whetstone for him to hone his skills. Back when he was at the Jinshi realm, he wasn't a match for Zhongshe realm cultivators. In fact, he had even been hunted down by the vice sect leader of the Joyful Union sect. Later, when he broke through to the spirit transformation realm, Ling Xiao activated the power of the immortal god's sealing array on the Longevity Mountain. He also activated the sky-devouring supreme statue and killed several Zhongshe realm cultivators in a row. He even killed the sky realm Kunshi. However, those weren't Ling Xiao's own strength. It could be said that Wang Wei was the first Zhongshe realm cultivator Ling Xiao faced after he broke through to the spirit transformation realm. Ling Xiao also wanted to see how his current strength was compared to a Zhongshe realm cultivator's. "You're courting death." Wang Wei sneered when he saw Ling Xiao use his bare fists to block his ghost head blade. The murderous intent in his eyes became even stronger. The ghost head blade in his hands swept across the sky, wanting to cut off Ling Xiao's arm. Even Ren Tianxing wouldn't dare to block Wang Wei's ghost head blade technique with his bare hands. Ling Xiao, who was only at the spirit transformation realm, was simply courting death. Rumble! The golden sky-devouring true energy was as bright as the sun and extremely sharp. When it collided with Wang Wei's ghost head blade qi, a thunderous sound erupted. The ghost head blade qi that filled the sky was scattered by Ling Xiao's fist. Then, Ling Xiao's mighty fist landed on the ghost head blade's body like a bolt of lightning. How is this possible? Wang Wei's eyes revealed a trace of disbelief. The true energy in Ling Xiao's body was even stronger than his Xian Tian energy. This was simply beyond his understanding. However, in the next moment, the ghost head blade buzzed and trembled. A bright light erupted. Wang Wei felt as if a divine mountain had landed on the ghost head blade, causing his arm to go numb. His entire body was sent flying by the huge force. Boom! Wang Wei retreated a dozen steps. His face revealed an abnormal flush. His eyes were filled with disbelief. He felt as if Ling Xiao wasn't a human, but a primordial divine beast with monstrous vitality. The terrifying power that erupted from Ling Xiao caused him to tremble in fear. In the distance, Ren Tianxing, Old Wu, and the others were also dumbfounded. At first, they were a little worried about Ling Xiao. After all, Ling Xiao's cultivation seemed to be at the 7th level of the spirit transformation realm. However, this punch was beyond their imagination. To be able to send Wang Wei flying with a single punch, just how terrifying was Ling Xiao's physical strength? Brother Ling Xiao is simply inhuman. Old Wu swallowed his saliva and said with a dry mouth, "That's right. His blood qi is extremely vigorous. It's even stronger than a Grandmaster realm expert." In my opinion, in terms of physical strength alone, no expert below the 3rd level of the Grandmaster realm is his match. Ren Tianxing also exclaimed in admiration. "Damn it! Who the hell is this kid? How can he be so abnormal? Where did young Master Ouyang go? If this continues, forget about killing Ren Tianxing, this kid will be very difficult to deal with." Wang Wei thought to himself, and his face became extremely ugly. "Kid, don't think that you can be so arrogant just because you have a strong physical body. Today, this old man will show you what the strength of a Grandmaster realm expert is." Ghost King descends, devour the void. A cold, killing intent flashed in Wang Wei's eyes. With a loud roar, the incomparably powerful innate True Kong burst out from his body. Rumble! Heaven and earth shook violently, and the surrounding forest seemed to be swept up by a fierce wind. Wisps of black killing intent filled Wang Wei's body, and the ghost head blade in his hand trembled violently, as if it had turned into a black hole that could devour everything. It's the forbidden move of the Ghost King blade art, Ghost King descends. Not good. This move is nourished with one's blood essence and true qi to form the Ghost King Devour Blade intent. It can devour and refine all flesh and blood. It's even more terrifying than a low-grade Earth-level martial art. Ling Xiao is in danger. Ren Tianxing's face changed and his eyes became serious. Brother Ling Xiao can even kill a rank 5 demonic beast. He should be able to block this move, right? Old Wu asked with uncertainty. It's hard to say. Beasts are beasts after all. They can't use powerful martial arts. This Ghost King descends is too strange. It can restrain Ling Xiao's vigorous blood qi. However, if Ling Xiao can't block it, I will step in. Chapter 118. Big sister, big brother Ling Xiao will definitely be able to defeat that bad guy, right? Yuer whispered as she felt the pressure. Yes, he definitely will. Ren Qingluo didn't know if she was answering Yuer or talking to herself. Her eyes were filled with nervousness as she clenched her fists so tightly that her knuckles turned white. Rumble. Black evil aura filled the air as a sinister ghost king with 2 horns on its head appeared in the air. It was surrounded by a boundless devouring blade aura as it pounced towards Ling Xiao. Wang Wei's face turned pale as soon as he used this move. It was obvious that he had paid a huge price for it. The Ghost King's descent caused the air to tremble. The devouring vortex seemed to be able to devour and refine everything, especially Ling Xiao's vigorous vitality. It had a fatal attraction, causing the Ghost King to pounce towards him. Ghost King's descent, devouring the air? What arrogance! Let's see if your Ghost King devours me or if I devour your Ghost King. Ling Xiao sneered as the sky-devouring secret technique exploded. Boom! It was as if a golden storm was spreading out. The heaven-devouring true qi was trembling violently, like endless waves. Behind Ling Xiao, a golden vortex formed. It radiated with heavenly might, as if it could contain everything. Ling Xiao was the sky-devouring sovereign in his previous life. The sky-devouring secret technique was the ancestor of devouring everything. Compared to the sky-devouring secret technique, the so-called Ghost King's descent was simply a joke. Rumble. The huge Ghost King's descent dissipated the moment it collided with the sky-devouring true qi. A boundless suction force came as the huge golden vortex swallowed the Ghost King's descent. The gloomy ghost aura that filled the air was swept away as all the energy was refined by the sky-devouring secret technique. Moreover, an incomparably pure energy was fed back into Ling Xiao's body. In order to use the Ghost King's descent, Wang Wei had sacrificed more than half of his essence blood and innate earth energy. Now, it was all given to Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao's cultivation had already reached the peak of the 7th level of the spirit transformation realm. At this moment, he could no longer suppress it and broke through the bottleneck with a bang. He had broken through the 8th level of the spirit transformation realm. Not only did Wang Wei's Ghost King descent not cause any harm to Ling Xiao, he even went for wool and came home shorn. He even lost the rice jar and helped Ling Xiao. Wang Wei spat out a mouthful of blood. His face was as pale as paper, and his aura instantly weakened. It was unknown whether it was because of the backlash from this forbidden technique or because of Ling Xiao's anger. Wang Wei pointed at Ling Xiao, his eyes filled with shock and anger. Even the forbidden technique, Descent of the Ghost King, could not deal with Ling Xiao. Wang Wei began to feel despair. How could this kid at the spirit transformation realm be so strong? Haha, I knew that brother Ling Xiao would definitely not lose. This time, Wang Wei has become an arrow at the end of its flight. He's dead for sure. Old Wu heaved a sigh of relief and laughed heartily. That's right. Wang Wei, this ungrateful bastard, must die. And these people, we can't leave them alive either. Kill them all. A sharp light flashed in Ren Tianxing's eyes. After this incident, he also understood the principle of eliminating the source of trouble. Since the Hui escort agency was courting death, he might as well fulfill their wish. Kill! Old Wu and the others roared and charged toward the remaining black-clothed men. At this moment, the black-clothed men had also witnessed the battle between Ling Xiao and Wang Wei. Even the head of the escorts, Wang Wei, had been defeated. They were all frightened and no longer had any will to fight. In addition, Ren Tianxing, a grandmaster, had joined the battle. The black-clothed men were forced to retreat. Not long after, There were less than 10 black-clothed men who could stand up. On the ground, blood flowed like a river, emitting a strong smell of blood. Brat, even if you kill me, you will die for sure. Young Master Oeng will avenge me. No one will be able to save you. Wang Wei knew that he was going to die, but he was still strong-willed. He did not beg for mercy and looked at Ling Xiao with eyes full of resentment. Young Master Ouyang? Are you talking about the person hiding in the dark? What's his origin? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he asked indifferently. Don't expect to get any information from me. You don't know what kind of existence you have provoked. Not only will you die, but your parents and relatives will also die. No one will be able to save you. Wang Wei sneered as the blood in his mouth became more and more severe. Ling Xiao originally wanted to ask something, but his ears twitched as if he had heard something. His face instantly changed. Rumble. The earth trembled and the sky trembled. In the distance, a dazzling mass of golden light enveloped a huge demonic beast, and it was heading towards them at high speed. The roar shook the void. The monstrous aura contained a strong evil spirit and madness, as if it was going to destroy everything. It was a huge golden ape. It was hundreds of feet tall and looked like a moving mountain. It was shrouded in golden light and held a huge iron rod in its hand. The blood in its body rushed to the sky as if it could destroy the stars. It emitted an aura that made people's hearts palpitate. Its eyes were blood red and emitted a crazy fluctuation. The towering ancient trees and huge rocks in front of it were all smashed into powder. Damn it, it's the chaotic demonic ape. Why would it come here? Ling Xiao's face was extremely ugly as he recognized the huge golden ape. It was the chaotic demonic ape that he had encountered before. A peak 6th level demonic beast, comparable to a 9th level sky human realm super demonic beast, had actually appeared here. Moreover, its target seemed to be where Ling Xiao and the others were. Boom. At the same time, Ling Xiao realized that the area he was in was a little different. The ground emitted a demonic blood-red aura. The blood essence of the dead demonic beasts and human experts spread out as if it had gathered into a demonic formation. Endless blood chi spread out, and the area seemed to have turned into a sea of blood. Moreover, it emitted a strange fragrance. The strange fragrance emitted a fluctuation that could make people's blood boil. It was very mysterious. It's the blood spirit demon formation? Damn it, I've been tricked. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he instantly recognized the blood chi. It formed the legendary blood spirit demon formation. The blood spirit demon formation was an ancient formation that was used by powerful martial arts holy lands to capture powerful demonic beasts. The blood spirit demon formation was useless against low-level demonic beasts, but it was very effective against high-level demonic beasts. It could emit a fluctuation of power that could stimulate the bloodline of high-level demonic beasts, causing them to rush over recklessly. There should be very few 7th-level demonic beasts in the fearsome Beast Mountain range. Even if there were, they should be in the depths of the fearsome Beast Mountain range. Therefore, the blood spirit demon formation would only attract 6th-level demonic beasts. Moreover, the range of the fluctuation emitted by the blood spirit demon formation was limited. The real mastermind had probably calculated all of this and used demonic beasts to fight with the Heavenly Escort Agency. In the end, he used the people of the Tiger Escort Agency as scapegoats in order to collect enough blood to activate the blood spirit demon formation. The blood spirit demon formation was very strange. It could not be discovered before it was activated. Therefore, even Ling Xiao was fooled. Chapter 119. What's that? Could it be the legendary Monster King? Oh my god, it's a demonic beast that's hundreds of feet tall. It's a giant golden ape. Let's go, it's coming towards us. Let's go. Everyone's faces were pale. After a brief moment of shock, they all roared out loud. Their eyes were filled with incomparable terror. Compared to the chaotic demonic ape, they were like weak ants that could be easily squashed to death. In the eyes of the chaotic demonic ape, even a Grandmaster Realm expert was just a big ant. They tried so hard to lure the chaotic demonic ape and set up the blood spirit demon transformation formation. They even used the tiger escort agency as cannon fodder. What's the real purpose of the mastermind? Is it the young master Ouyang that Wang Wei mentioned? Ling Zhao's mind was spinning rapidly as he analyzed all the possibilities of this matter. Let's go, let's go. Everyone retreat. Ren Tianxing, Old Wu, and the rest were terrified. They led the people of the Sky Escort Agency and wanted to leave this strange place. Rumble. However, how fast was the chaotic demonic ape? Almost instantly, it was a few dozen meters away. Miles away. Everyone could even see its eyes that were like blood moons, emitting a cold and mocking light. The chaotic demonic ape had discovered them. It's over, it discovered us. A look of despair appeared in Old Wu's eyes, and his face turned extremely pale. Since they were discovered by the chaotic demonic ape, they had no way to escape. Only death awaited them. But the mastermind took so much effort, it's impossible for him to let the chaotic demonic ape kill us. He must have other plans, and that plan is where our chance of survival lies. But what does the mastermind want? Beads of sweat even appeared on Ling Zhao's forehead, and his expression became somewhat anxious. No matter how monstrous Ling Zhao was, he stood no chance against the chaotic demonic ape. It could be said that this was the biggest calamity he had faced since his rebirth. Rumble. Right at this moment, a divine ray of light soared through the sky like a river of stars. It illuminated the sky and emanated peerlessly sharp waves of sword energy. Bastard, how dare you? A cold female voice resounded in the air. Accompanied by a divine rainbow of sword chi, a woman in white flew over from afar. The woman in white stood in the void. Her figure was tall and her skin was as white as jade. She exuded an otherworldly temperament, as if she was a fairy from the moon palace. She was peerless and independent, with peerless beauty. However, there was a thin veil covering her face, only revealing a pair of eyes that were as bright as the stars. Her entire body was enveloped in a faint multicolored light, making people not dare to look at her directly. She stood in front of the chaotic world demonic ape. Her aura was unfathomable, like the moon in the 9 heavens. Her aura was actually on par with the chaotic world demonic ape. The chaotic world demonic ape roared. There was a hint of fear in its blood-red eyes. Its chi and blood were extremely violent. It waved the black stick in its hand as if it was demonstrating its power to the woman in white. An elite of the celestial tier. Ren Tianxing's eyes flashed, revealing a trace of shock. The woman in white did not look old, but she was actually an elite of the celestial tier, which surprised and delighted him. Perhaps everyone's life depended on the woman in white. Bastard, if you don't back off, I'll kill you today. The woman in white's voice was cold and exuded a majestic fluctuation. Looking at the confrontation between the woman in white and the chaotic world demonic ape, Ren Tianxing and the others were extremely nervous. Sister, that sister goddess in the sky seems to be the sister we met when we entered the fearsome Beast Mountain range. Looked curiously at the woman in white in the sky and said to Ren Qingluo, "The sister we met when we entered the fearsome Beast Mountain range? Seems like it." Ren Qingluo also looked carefully and nodded. "Oh, you met her before? How did you meet her?" Ling Zhao's ears twitched when he heard the conversation between Yu and Ren Qingluo. He walked over and asked curiously. Looking at Ling Zhao, Ren Qingluo's face turned slightly red, but she still said softly, "When we entered the fearsome Beast Mountain range a month ago, we met a sister in white. She traveled with us for a while and was very nice to you, and me. She once said that she would introduce us to a sect called the Jade Lake Sect, but later she seemed to have something to do and left in advance. She only said that she would come and find us again." Ren Qingluo recalled the situation as she recounted the situation. The more she recalled, the more she felt that the woman in white in the sky was the person they had met before. The Jade Lake Sect? So that's it. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed and his heart trembled slightly. He had guessed many things. Ling Zhao had heard of the Jade Lake Sect. It was a martial arts holy land like the Sun Moon Stars Sect and the Wanshou Sect. However, the sect was full of women and was very strict in accepting disciples. It was also very mysterious. Usually, it was not active in the great wilderness ancient country, but in other countries. However, it was interesting that the people of the Jade Lake sect would appear in the fearsome Beast Mountain range. Although there was no evidence, Ling Xiao had guessed that perhaps the target of the mastermind was this woman in white. It's getting more and more interesting. Ling Xiao's mouth curled into a smile. The chaotic world demonic ape was a rank 6 demonic beast. Its intelligence was no different from that of an ordinary person. Although it could not speak human language or take human form, it could understand the meaning of the woman in white. It was instantly enraged. Roar! The chaotic world demonic ape let out an earth-shattering roar. It suddenly raised its head and let out a long roar. Its huge fists pounded on its chest, and the huge iron cudgel in its hand was instantly grasped by it and smashed toward the woman in white. Rumble! The iron cudgel was hundreds of feet high and several sheets thick. At this moment, it fell across the sky as if a pillar of heaven had collapsed. It emitted a rumbling sound and the void trembled violently. The woman in white's eyes flashed sharply. She turned into a streamer and disappeared in an instant. Boom! The iron cudgel fell and flattened a small hill. The earth shook and sand and stones flew. Several towering ancient trees burst into pieces and a huge chasm appeared on the ground. The power of the cudgel was so great. Evil creature, how dare you? The white-robed woman said coldly. She pointed with her slender finger, and suddenly, a divine rainbow streaked across the sky. It was a blazing sword light, and it was as bright as the sun. It swept across the sky and slashed towards the chaotic world demonic ape. Clang! The chaotic world demonic ape raised its black iron cudgel to block the attack. Suddenly, sparks flew in all directions. The sharp sword radiance swept in all directions and broke out an earth-shattering air wave. Although they were 10 miles away, everyone could feel the terrifying aura as if it was going to destroy the world. The oppressive battle fluctuations made them turn pale. Let's go. Let's get out of here. Ren Tianxing made a prompt decision. This was a great opportunity. While the woman in white was fighting with the chaotic world demonic ape, they would be completely safe as long as they left the area covered by the blood spirit demon transformation formation. As for Wang Wei and the people from the Huey escort agency, they were all killed by Ren Tianxing's sword. Chapter 120. Everyone ran dozens of miles in one breath and left the area covered by the blood spirit demon transformation formation. The sense of crisis also faded a lot. On the top of a small mountain, Ling Xiao, Ren Tianxing, and the others looked into the distance. In the distance, a ball of golden light and a ball of cyan light collided at an extremely fast speed, erupting an earth-shattering wave that swept across the void. That was the battle between the woman in white and the chaotic world demonic ape. Even from so far away, people could feel a wave of palpitations. At this moment, the sky was just beginning to brighten. After a night, everyone was tired and hungry. Everyone work harder. We can leave the fierce Beast Mountain range in a few dozen miles. When we return to Qinghua City, we will be completely safe. Ren Tianxing said to the crowd. There was a look of relief in his eyes, as if he had just survived a disaster. Head escort, I won't go with you. I still have some things to do. Ling Xiao said with a slight smile. What? You want to leave? Ren Tianxing was slightly stunned. A hint of worry flashed in his eyes as he said, Ling Xiao, this fierce Beast Mountain range is full of dangers. Even the demonic beasts comparable to the celestial realm have come out. It must be very dangerous for you to stay here. Why don't you come back to Qinghua City with us first and then make plans? Rin Qingluo heard that Ling Xiao was going to leave and quickly said, Yes, Ling Xiao, it's too dangerous for you to stay here. I guess you want to find the real culprit behind this, right? But if he can make such a big plan, he must not be an ordinary person. Old Wu also persuaded, That's right. Brother Ling Xiao, you see, even Qingluo is reluctant to let you go. You are our savior. How can we let you die? Ren Qingluo's face turned red. She glared at old Wu but didn't refute. Looking at so many concerned eyes, Ling Xiao smiled and said, Don't worry, I won't provoke the demonic beast and the woman in white. I won't look for the culprit either. I really have something to do, and it's very safe. When I'm done, I'll go to Qinghua City to find you." Seeing Ling Xiao so determined, Ren Tianxing and the others could only stop persuading him. "In that case, Ling Xiao, you have to be careful." Although Ling Xiao was only at the spirit transformation realm, he was no weaker than a Grandmaster realm cultivator. As long as he didn't provoke those powerful demonic beasts, there was nothing to worry about. "Be careful." Ren Qingluo opened her mouth, but she didn't know what to say. Seeing Ling Xiao's gentle gaze, her cheeks turned red again. "Big brother Ling Xiao, or will wait for you to come back and teach me martial arts. I'll go help you, big baddie." Sat in Ren Qingluo's arms with a look of reluctance on her face as she waved at Ling Xiao. "Thank you for your concern. We'll meet again." Ling Xiao smiled confidently. He turned around and flew off into the distance. Every step he took covered dozens of feet. He stepped on the green grass as if he was walking on air. Not long after, he disappeared from everyone's sight. Ling Xiao is blessed by the heavens. He'll definitely be fine. Let's go back too. Ren Tianxing smiled and continued to lead the group towards Qinghua City. Ling Xiao was heading towards the place where the chaotic demonic ape and the white-clothed woman were fighting. The reason why Ling Xiao said that he had something else to do was that he didn't want Ren Tianxing and the others to worry. However, the mastermind behind the scenes had set up such a shocking plan and triggered a battle between two celestial beings. Ling Xiao had been schemed against and had become a pawn of the mastermind. This made Ling Xiao very unhappy. Therefore, he wanted to see who the mastermind behind the scenes was. Ling Xiao operated the sky-devouring secret skill and concealed his aura. He moved stealthily towards the place where the chaotic demonic ape and the white-clothed woman were fighting. Ling Xiao stopped a dozen miles away from them. He hid on top of a towering ancient tree and watched the battle between the Celestials and the Celestials. Rumble! In the distant void, the golden divine light was blazing and dazzling. It was like a thunderbolt that was unparalleled and unleashed a terrifying destructive force. The chaotic demonic ape and the white-clothed woman seemed to be in a real fight. The roar of the chaotic demonic ape shook the sky. It waved the huge iron cudgel in its hand and a strong wind swept in all directions. The rocks and plants that were touched by the iron cudgel were all turned into dust. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Green sword light traversed the void. It was as bright as the Milky Way. Every sword strike was as sharp as lightning. The white-clothed woman stood in the air with a green ancient sword in her hand. Her clothes fluttered in the wind and the sword light was sharp. Every sword strike would leave a bloody mark on the chaotic demonic ape's body. That kind of sword intent was indomitable and vast. It was like the moon above the ninth heaven, emitting a cold and bright radiance. Clang! The white-clothed woman slashed her sword again. The chaotic demonic ape raised its iron cudgel to block. Blazing rays of light swept in all directions and cut several towering ancient trees into pieces. Rumble! The iron cudgel swept across like a pillar. The white-clothed woman's figure flashed and dodged. A mountain peak was directly smashed by the chaotic demonic ape's cudgel. Sand and stones flew and the earth rumbled. In the place where the human and the demonic beast were fighting, countless crisscrossed chasms appeared on the ground. Countless demonic beasts that couldn't escape in time were turned into blood mist. This was the battle between the celestial being. The experts in the celestial being realm could draw upon the power of heaven and earth continuously. Under the oneness of heaven and man, they could erupt with destructive power. Moreover, although the chaotic world demonic ape was only at the peak of the rank 6 demonic beast, it was an Archean variant. Its bloodline power was extremely powerful. A chaotic world demonic ape at the peak of the rank 6 demonic beast could even fight a rank 7 demonic beast. However, the white-clothed woman was able to fight against the chaotic demonic ape, injuring and suppressing it. This showed how terrifying the white-clothed woman was. That woman seems to be injured? Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. He felt that the white-clothed woman's figure trembled. It seemed that she was a little unstable and was about to fall from the void. The chaotic demonic ape, which had been suppressed by the white-clothed woman, seized this opportunity. The golden divine light all over its body was blazing. Finally, it spat out a dazzling golden light across the sky. As soon as the golden light came out, heaven and earth suddenly changed color. The sun and the moon lost their light. There was a vast golden light between heaven and earth, falling toward the white-clothed woman. "It's the infinite gunmetal sword Qi?" Ling Zhao's eyes were shocked. He recognized the origin of the golden light. The chaotic demonic ape was an Archean variant. It was born and raised by the earth. It was divided into 5 elements. Moreover, the Archean variant was extremely talented. When it cultivated to a certain level, it could awaken its bloodline power. The infinite gunmetal sword Qi was the bloodline power awakened by the chaotic demonic ape. In other words, the chaotic demonic ape was a metal attribute demonic beast. The chaotic demonic ape has awakened the infinite gunmetal sword Qi. The demonic pill in its body is a top metal attribute spiritual seed. If I can refine it, my sky-devouring spiritual seed will definitely reach the consummation level. What a pity! Chapter 121. The chaotic world demonic ape was smart. It didn't use its bloodline ability at first. Instead, it used the infinite gunmetal sword Qi when it saw that the woman's breath was unstable and seemed to be suffering from an internal injury. Faced with the boundless gunmetal sword Qi, the white-clothed woman's eyes revealed an extremely solemn expression. "Purple cloud descends, eternal divine sword." The woman in white shouted in a low voice. Her face instantly turned pale. She stepped in the void and formed a seal with the ancient green sword in her hand. The stars in the sky lit up at this moment. Rumble! Between heaven and earth, thunder roared. The stars in the sky all fell with bright starlight at this moment. It was gorgeous and dazzling, as vast as the sea. The woman in white pointed the ancient green sword in her hand at the void. Strands of purple lightning condensed out of thin air and finally turned into a huge purple light sword that was thousands of feet long. It bloomed with infinite light and slashed down at the chaotic world demonic ape. "It's the purple cloud godly sword technique?" Ling Xiao was shocked. The martial art that the woman in white used was the purple cloud godly sword technique. Ling Xiao had an extremely deep impression of this sword technique. The purple cloud godly sword technique was an upper-grade heaven-level martial art created by Ling Xiao in his previous life. Later on, it was passed down to a true disciple. Ling Xiao had a total of 7 true disciples in his previous life, and each of them had inherited a unique technique from him. Although the purple cloud godly sword technique was only an upper-grade heaven-level martial art, when cultivated to the extreme and condensed the purple cloud emperor real body, it could erupt with power comparable to a supreme martial art. However, it was too difficult to cultivate the purple cloud godly sword technique to the extreme. Even the true disciple of Ling Xiao in his previous life didn't cultivate it to the extreme. Therefore, the purple cloud godly sword technique was only an upper-grade heaven-level martial art. Is the Jade Lake sect a sect founded by Han Gong? Ling Xiao thought to himself. The name of the true disciple in his previous life was Ji Hengong. She was the youngest disciple. When Ling Xiao died in his previous life, Ji Hengong had just broken through to the monarch realm. The purple cloud godly sword technique is a martial art that can only be cultivated in the noble realm. It's too strenuous to use it with the cultivation of the celestial realm. Ling Xiao shook his head. Sure enough, after using this move, the woman's body swayed even more. Obviously, she had paid a great price. But the power of this sword technique was extremely terrifying. Rumble! Almost in an instant, the huge purple light sword collided with the boundless gunmetal sword Qi, and a powerful shockwave erupted. With the chaotic world demonic ape and the woman in white as the center, the area within a radius of 10 miles was shrouded in blazing divine light. The earth trembled violently, and countless plants, trees, mountains, and rocks were reduced to dust. Even Ling Xiao, who was more than a dozen miles away, felt his blood churn when he was swept by the monstrous wave. Although the boundless gunmetal sword Qi was the bloodline ability of the chaotic world demonic ape, how could it compare to the purple cloud divine sword art? Gotcha! After resisting for almost a moment, The huge golden sword light shattered with a loud bang. The 10,000 feet long purple sword light continued to fall toward the chaotic world demonic ape. The chaotic world demonic ape roared. Its blood-red eyes revealed a trace of horror. It hurriedly raised its huge iron rod to block the attack. It had never thought that the tiny human who looked like he was about to die would be able to unleash such a terrifying attack. Gotcha! The huge iron rod in the chaotic world demonic ape's hand was cut in half. The sky was filled with purple cloud divine thunder, accompanied by the extremely sharp sword chi, enveloped the chaotic world demonic ape. Roar! A violent scream was heard. The chaotic world demonic ape writhed violently, and the earth trembled violently. When the divine light gradually dissipated, the scene inside was revealed. At this moment, the chaotic world demonic ape looked extremely miserable. The purple cloud divine sword left a huge bloody mark on its chest. From the bottom of its head to the bottom of its abdomen, it was dripping with blood. Its entire body was almost cut in half. The chaotic world demonic ape's eyes revealed an extremely horrified look. This sword had completely frightened it. It roared at the woman in white, dragged its severely injured body, turned around and fled. The woman in white could no longer hold it in. She suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. Her body swayed and she fell from the void. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed, and he also rushed toward the place where the woman in white had fallen. The reason why Ling Zhao did not choose to chase after the chaotic world demonic ape was that although the chaotic world demonic ape was severely injured and dying, it was still not something that Ling Zhao could contend with. If Ling Zhao had any thoughts about its monster core, he was afraid that he would be slapped to death by it. The woman in white was from the Jade Lake sect, and she had some kind of connection with the disciple of Ling Zhao in his previous life. Ling Zhao naturally wanted to go over and ask about it. He did not get any answers about what happened after his death in the Changsun sect. Ling Zhao hoped that he could find some clues in the Jade Lake sect. Ling Zhao passed through layers of dense forests, climbed over a mountain, and finally came to a deep valley. The direction where the woman in white had fallen should be here. Ling Zhao's aura was restrained to the extreme. He was like a cold stone, and there was no fluctuation of life emitted from him. He passed through a bamboo forest in the valley and walked carefully toward it. Ling Zhao's ears twitched. He heard a sound coming from the front, and his footsteps became slower and slower. Raising a breath of genuine qi, Ling Zhao stepped on the withered leaves without making any sound. His figure was like a ghost. At the end of the bamboo forest, there was the sound of water flowing. Ling Zhao carefully probed with his mental strength. There was a waterfall, and snow-white water fell from the cliff. Below it was a deep pool, and the woman in white was floating above the pool. Her aura was extremely weak. How could she be so seriously injured? Even if she had to pay a price to use the purple heaven swordsmanship, she shouldn't have been injured to this extent. Could it be that she was injured before? Ling Zhao's eyes flashed, and he was about to walk out of the dense forest and bring the woman in white up. However, at this moment, a white figure appeared by the pool and turned into a handsome young man with a folding fan in his hand. The young man looked similar to Ling Zhao. He was only 15 or 16 years old, but there was a touch of evil and cold light in his eyes. Furthermore, Ling Zhao could sense an unfathomable aura from him. 9th level of the Supreme Power Realm. What a high cultivation! Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. Fortunately, he didn't act impulsively. Otherwise, he would have bumped into this young man. Moreover, this young man gave Ling Zhao a faint sense of danger. Subordinate Ouyang Yu greets your majesty. A cold light flashed in the handsome young man's eyes, but he knelt down respectfully to the woman in white in the pool. Ouyang Yu? Young Master Ouyang? Ling Zhao's eyes moved. Could this Ouyang Yu be the young Master Ouyang that Wang Wei mentioned? The real mastermind behind this? Chapter 122. Ouyang Yu knelt there for a long time, but the woman in white did not respond. It was as if she had really fainted. Your Majesty, I've offended you. Ouyang Yu said softly. Then, a powerful Xiantian Gang Qi spread out and turned into a long rainbow. It directly lifted the white-clothed woman from the pool and gently placed her on the edge of the pool. At this moment, the woman in white's clothes were completely wet, outlining her perfect curves that would make one's blood boil. Her skin was as white as jade, her fingers were slender, and the two peaks in front of her chest were perfectly round and towering. Her thin clothes clung tightly to her skin, and the faintly discernible scenery caused one's imagination to run wild. Although her face was still covered by a veil, it made one imagine what kind of peerless beauty was under the veil. Yang Yu looked at the woman in white in front of him, and a trace of passion appeared in his eyes. However, he still checked carefully and found that the woman in white's breathing was very weak. She had fallen into an unconscious state. "Your Majesty, I'm going to give you a healing pill. I've offended you." An evil fire flashed in Yang Yu's eyes, and he reached out to grab the veil on the woman's face. When Ling Xiao saw this, a faint mocking smile appeared on his lips. Just when Yang Yu's hand was an inch away from the woman in white's face, the woman in white suddenly opened her eyes. Her beautiful eyes, which were like stars, were filled with a cold expression. "Yang Yu, what are you trying to do?" A cold and dignified voice sounded, and Yang Yu's hand froze in midair. "Your Majesty, please forgive me. I only wanted to give you a healing pill. I didn't mean to be disrespectful." Yang Yu's face was filled with terror, and he hurriedly knelt down. "Didn't I already let you return to your country? What are you doing here?" The woman in white's cold gaze softened a little, but she still asked doubtfully. "Your Majesty, we have indeed returned to our country. However, on the way back, I heard a shocking piece of news, so I came to report it to Your Majesty." "Your Majesty, are you all right?" Yang Yu carefully raised his head and asked. "I'm fine." The white-clothed woman slowly sat up and her body emitted a blazing light. Immediately, the water on her clothes evaporated. Her eyes regained their calmness and her face became rosy. "Get up. What shocking news? Tell me." Yang Yu's eyes narrowed when she saw the woman in white drying her clothes so easily. However, she still said respectfully, "Your Majesty, I've received news that the Nanzhao king has colluded with the ministers of the imperial court and conspired to rebel. He has taken down 81 cities in a month and is about to reach Xuandu City." "Nanzhao king rebelled? Damn it." The white-clothed woman's eyes flashed, revealing a trace of coldness. "I was looking for Your Majesty in the ferocious Beast Mountain range and accidentally saw the battle between Your Majesty and the chaotic world demonic ape, so I found this place. Your Majesty, you still need to return to Xuandu City as soon as possible. Otherwise, my great Xian dynasty will be in danger." Yang Yu had a loyal and devoted look on her face. But there was a trace of anxiety in her eyes. She explained in a few words why she was here, and dispelled the doubts in the heart of the woman in white. In the distance, Ling Xiao was slightly taken aback. Wasn't this white-clothed woman from the Jade Lake sect? How did she become the empress of the Great Mysterious Ancient Kingdom? The Great Mysterious Ancient Kingdom and the Great Desolation Ancient Kingdom were very far apart. Why did this white-clothed woman come to the ferocious Beast Mountain range of the Great Desolation Ancient Kingdom? Ling Xiao pondered in his heart. The hidden things were becoming more and more confusing. "Your Majesty, this is an eternal creation pill that I obtained with great difficulty. I hope Your Majesty can recover from your injuries as soon as possible and kill your way back to Xuandu City." Yang Yu's eyes flashed. She took out a pink jade bottle from her bosom and gently opened it. Immediately, a fragrance assailed the nostrils. The white-clothed woman did not take it. She sniffed the fragrance and nodded. "You actually have such a peerless treasure pill like the Eternal Creation Pill? That's rare. Your loyalty is commendable. However, I have my own healing elixir. You can leave now. I'm going to start healing." The Eternal Creation Pill was a peerless healing elixir. It had an incomparably powerful effect on the experts of the celestial realm. Just one Eternal Creation Pill could heal all injuries. However, the white-clothed woman was cautious and did not take it. Yang Yu knelt there and did not do anything. The fragrance in the pink jade bottle became stronger and stronger. It even emitted a dazzling aura. "Yang Yu, why are you still not leaving?" The white-clothed woman frowned. However, her expression changed greatly in an instant. This medicinal fragrance is not the eternal creation pill. Youngyu, how dare you? The white-clothed woman shouted. Her face revealed an abnormal flush. At first, the fragrance made people feel comfortable. The medicinal fragrance was very similar to the eternal creation pill. Therefore, the white-clothed woman did not suspect anything. However, as the medicinal fragrance became stronger, it emitted a fluctuation that made people confused. It was as if it had aroused the most primitive desire in their hearts. The white-clothed woman's snow-white neck began to turn red. Her entire body surged with a dry heat. Beads of sweat began to appear on her white forehead. Your Majesty the Empress, do you feel sore and powerless all over? Your entire body is hot and your heart is beating faster. Do you have an impulse to take off all your clothes? Yangyu retreated more than 100 feet. With a flick of her finger, a chi sword shot out. The pink jade bottle exploded with a loud bang. An even more intense and strange fragrance was emitted from it, enveloping the white-clothed woman. At this moment, there was no longer a trace of respect on Yangyu's face. Her eyes were blazing, as if she wanted to strip the white-clothed woman in front of her, revealing endless lust. Yangyu, I have treated you well. You actually poisoned me. The white-clothed woman's body emitted a green light, sweeping away all the fragrance. However, she had already absorbed some of it. The toxicity of the fragrance was extremely overbearing. Although she tried her best to resist it, the dry heat in her heart became more and more intense. The most primitive impulse made the white-clothed woman feel both ashamed and angry. She wanted to go crazy. Her gaze was extremely cold. If looks could kill, Yangyu would have died countless times. Your Majesty the Empress, how could I bear to poison you? Don't worry, this is not poison. This is the goddess disrobing powder. It is refined from dozens of kinds of peerless spiritual herbs. It is much more precious than the eternal creation pill. Even the Jiutian goddess would be unable to resist taking off her clothes and become the most woman. Moreover, there is no antidote for this goddess disrobing powder. You must have intercourse with a strong man. Otherwise, you will be burned to death by lust. Chapter 123. Yangyu, you deserve to die. The woman in white shouted in a low voice. Her expression changed drastically, and her eyes were filled with terror. How could she not know? This so-called goddess undressing powder was not a poison, but The red-robed woman's face became more and more flushed. Her long eyelashes fluttered, and her beautiful eyes began to show signs of lust, causing her to become more and more ashamed and angry. She was already seriously injured. After inhaling the goddess undressing powder, her remaining true energy was used to suppress the restlessness in her heart. Facing Yangyu, who had already cautiously retreated far away, the white-robed woman was powerless. The white-robed woman was frightened by the goddess undressing powder. If her body was really taken by Yangyu, even if she killed him 10 times, so what? Thinking about this, the white-robed woman's heart almost died. Yangyu, if you dare to touch me, I will kill your 9 generations. The white-robed woman weakly said. However, at this moment, her body was weak and her voice was very soft, as if she was flirting with a lover. Goddess undressing powder? This Yangyu's real target is the Empress of the great mysterious ancient kingdom? Truly courageous and shameless. Ling Zhao's eyes flashed with a cold light, but he did not have any intention of attacking. With his current cultivation, even if he used all of his trump cards, he was still not Yangyu's opponent. Ling Zhao did not have any thoughts of losing his life for a woman. Moreover, he felt that this white-robed woman, as the empress of a kingdom, was not so simple. However, Yangyu was also very cunning. Even at this moment, when the white-robed woman did not seem to have any power to resist, he still retreated 10 zhang away and was very vigilant. Obviously, Yangyu also knew how powerful the white-robed woman was. Your Majesty, you don't know, but you are the goddess in my heart. I have long loved you to the point of madness, but you are high above, sacred and inviolable. You simply cannot see my existence. Thinking that today, you will become my woman and enjoy my pleasure under my body, I will go crazy with excitement. Moreover, you will definitely not kill me. Wait until you and I reach paradise, then your primordial yin will be taken by my yin-yang union of joy art. You will forever be my woman and will never betray me. Yang Yu's face was red. His eyes flashed with a trace of madness as he laughed loudly. Poof! The white-robed woman's anger rushed to her heart. She spat out a mouthful of blood, and her aura instantly weakened. The desire in her heart became more and more intense. Her body became itchy, as if there were countless ants crawling on it. The urge to take off her clothes became more and more intense. As the flames of lust burned in her heart, the white-clothed woman's gaze became more and more blurred. The last bit of rationality in her heart was gradually being eroded. She placed her slender jade-like hands on the white robe and tugged it with all her might. Suddenly, a large piece of her clothes was torn apart, revealing snow-white skin that would make people go crazy. One could even see the snow-white skin in front of her chest, as well as the ravine that would make people's blood boil. The woman in white even began to moan in ecstasy, and her delicate body began to twist and turn. "Your Majesty, let me take care of you." A woman's fragrance wafted over, causing Yang Yu's entire body to heat up. Even the lower half of his body had a reaction. But just as Yang Yu was about to pounce on the white-robed woman, her eyes suddenly became clear. Her eyes were full of cold, murderous intent. Yang Yu, you deserve to die." A bright brilliance bloomed in the white-robed woman's palm. The cyan sword chi was incomparably sharp. It contained a terrifying aura that could destroy everything. It fiercely slammed toward Yang Yu's chest. What? Yang Yu was scared out of his wits. His eyes were full of disbelief. How could the white-robed woman wake up again? However, there was no time for him to think too much. The distance between the two of them was too close, and the white-clothed woman had struck out in anger. Yang Yu only had time to shift his body a few inches, avoiding the vital point of his heart, but he was still struck by the palm. Boom! The attack of a heaven-tier warrior was no small matter. The terrifying power of this palm did not hit Yang Yu's heart, but it still hit Yang Yu's right arm. A bloody mist exploded. Yang Yu's right arm was directly smashed into pieces by this palm. Yang Yu let out an extremely painful scream. He was directly blasted dozens of feet away and crashed into the ground in the distance. Blood spurted out of his mouth. With one palm, Yang Yu was instantly seriously injured. What a pity! A trace of pity flashed in the white-robed woman's eyes. But then her face turned red, and she spurted out another mouthful of blood. She did not hesitate to tear off her clothes to lure Yang Yu. In the end, although Yang Yu's arm was crippled, she still could not kill him. After all, she had experienced repeated injuries. She was already an arrow at the end of its flight. And after this attack, she no longer had any strength to resist. Her injuries were even more serious. The goddess's undressing powder took the opportunity to counterattack. She could no longer suppress it, and her face began to flush red. "Bitch, you actually crippled my arm? You actually crippled my arm? I will rape you 10,000 times, and then sell you to the most lowly brothel. Every day, you will be played by 100 strong men, Yang Yu miserably screamed as he walked step by step towards the white-robed woman. His face was filled with incomparable madness. His body was dripping with blood, and he was like a demon that walked out of hell. With one arm crippled, it meant that Yang Yu had no hope of reaching the heaven realm in this lifetime. As for the legendary treasures that could regrow a severed arm, it was impossible for him to obtain them. The white-robed woman's palm could be said to have crippled Yang Yu's martial path. How could he not go crazy? "I say you deserve to die, so you will die without a doubt. That little brat in the dark, quickly come out and kill him for me." The white-robed woman did her best to resist the corrosion of the goddess's undressing powder as she coldly said, "What? There's still someone in the dark?" Yang Yu's expression changed. He vigilantly looked around, but there was only silence. There was nothing. Ling Xiao, on the other hand, was frightened. Truly worthy of being the empress of the grand mysterious ancient kingdom. This woman is truly ruthless. Now, she wants to trick this young master into blocking the blade for you? This young master originally wanted to be a hero that saves the beauty, but since you dare to scheme against this young master will not come out. Let's see what you can do. Ling Xiao secretly thought in his heart. He grinned with a mischievous expression as if he was watching a play. Little brat, I did not trick you. I know that you are hiding 920 zhang north of the bamboo forest. Help me kill Ouyang Yu, and I will bestow upon you the title of king equal to one of the grand mysterious ancient kingdom. The white-robed woman's gaze looked towards the direction where Ling Xiao was hiding and lightly said, Bitch, there is no one here and you still want to trick me? Today, even if the heavenly emperor came, he still wouldn't be able to save you. Chapter 124. Sigh, I originally wanted to watch a good show, but since you look down on me, I can only come out and accompany you in a melodramatic drama of a hero saving a damsel in distress. Hey, you brat, why don't you quickly put down that woman, or I'll cut off your head and kill you. Ling Xiao shook his head and decided to act in the end. Step by step, he walked out of the bamboo forest. The rising sun shone on his face, illuminating his handsome and unruly face. He had a wild grass in his mouth. His white robe fluttered in the wind, looking very clean. His eyes were filled with a lazy and casual smile. Seeing this youth, the woman in white was slightly startled. She suddenly felt a sense of regret. Should she have called this youth out? He looked like he was only 15 or 16 years old and was only at the 8th level of the spirit transformation realm. The sun was beautiful and his smile was clean. Was this youth really going to die here because of her words? Ouyang Yu was also startled, but after seeing Ling Xiao's cultivation, she sneered and her eyes were filled with ridicule. A mere 8th level of the spirit transformation realm dares to play the hero and save the damsel in distress? Brat, since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. Ouyang Yu's eyes flashed with killing intent as she charged toward Ling Xiao with a palm strike. Although one of Ouyang Yu's arms was crippled and she was seriously injured, she still had the battle strength of a spirit transformation realm cultivator. In her opinion, she could kill this kid at the spirit transformation realm with a single palm strike. Ling Xiao stood there without moving. The smile on his face was still there and he didn't panic at all. However, in the eyes of Ouyang Yu and the woman in white, it was as if Ling Xiao had been scared silly. I've let you down? There was a flash of pity in the woman's eyes and she closed her eyes as if she had accepted her fate. However, just at this moment, a heaven-shaking dragon roar echoed through the forest. It was mighty, majestic, and mysterious. It was as if an ancient dragon had awakened from its slumber. Boom! When Ouyang Yu's palm arrived, Ling Xiao's eyes flashed and he also threw out a punch. Unparalleled fist intent erupted and his blood surged like the sea. At this moment, how was Ling Xiao still a handsome youth? It was clearly a humanoid beast. The flood dragon's blood boiled as if it was burning. Blood chi surged, and the dragon's roar was loud and clear. Accompanied by the red clouds that filled the sky, an incomparably huge golden fist appeared in the void. Boom! As the fist and palm collided, an endless amount of Xiantian earth energy surged out, causing the void to tremble. Ling Xiao's figure swayed slightly, while Ouyang Yu flew back at an even faster speed. Her blood was in turmoil, and her face was somewhat pale. How is this possible? Ouyang Yu's eyes revealed a trace of disbelief. The youth before him seemed to only be at the spirit transformation realm, but the power he displayed was comparable to that of a martial scholar. Who are you? Kid, if you retreat obediently, I can spare your life. Otherwise, you will definitely die today. Ouyang Yu said coldly. Ling Xiao sneered and said, a cripple like you really talks big. This young master will definitely save the damsel in distress today. Use whatever methods you have, this young master will receive them. You're courting death. Ouyang Yu's face instantly darkened. She said coldly, Kid, don't think that you can be arrogant just because you can take one of my palms. Since you want to die, I will fulfill your wish. Boom. Oh Yangyu's body emitted a monstrous black divine light. His Xiantian earth energy was cold and eerie, emitting a chilling ghostly aura. It was as if countless ghosts were floating around him. A huge saber aura swept across the sky, flashing with a black sharpness. It was like a saber technique from hell, containing a cold, dark, and eerie fluctuation. Ghost King Slaughter Saber, 7 Ultimate Slash. Oh Yangyu shouted. The huge saber aura in the void instantly split into 7 rays of saber light, slashing down at Ling Xiao like lightning. Ling Xiao's gaze turned slightly serious. This Ghost King Slaughter Saber was not simple. Just the 7 Ultimate Slash alone was comparable to a low earth level martial technique. Moreover, Oh Yangyu's saber technique was completely natural, carrying with it an absolute saber intent that could destroy everything. Oh Yangyu was an important figure in the Great Xian ancient kingdom. He had a powerful martial Dao inheritance. Naturally, a grandmaster like Wang Wei could not compare to him. Only a grandmaster's cultivation coupled with a powerful martial technique could unleash a truly terrifying power. However, there was no fear in Ling Xiao's eyes. Instead, a powerful battle intent surged out. Only by exchanging blows with such an expert could he improve and surpass himself. There were great terrors between life and death, but there were also great opportunities. Arhat descends, Vajra subdues demons. Ling Xiao stomped his foot, causing the earth to rumble. His entire body was shrouded in a golden light. Heaven-devouring true qi erupted and bloomed in the void. It was as if a Vajra Arhat bathed in golden light had descended from the sky. Ling Xiao punched out, and the Vajra Arhat also punched out. It merged with Ling Xiao's fist and pressed down on Oh Yangyu. Boom! The void trembled and divine light surged. The Xiantian earth energy twisted the surrounding bamboo forest into a mess. The 7 rays of saber light from the 7 Ultimate Slash were extremely sharp. They instantly landed on the Vajra Arhat and exploded at the same time. Both Ling Xiao and Oh Yangyu trembled and retreated a dozen steps. Ling Xiao's qi and blood surged. There was a hint of admiration in his eyes. As expected of the 7 Ultimate Slash. In terms of power, it had surpassed the 7 Stars Transform Moonsword. Ling Xiao guessed that the Ghost King Slaughter Saber had reached the Earth-level upper-grade martial arts in terms of power. It was extremely extraordinary. Moreover, Ling Xiao could faintly feel that the Ghost King's Slaughter Saber was similar to the Ghost King's saber technique that Wang Wei had used. The Ghost King's saber technique was probably just an entry-level martial technique of the Ghost King's Slaughter Saber. Oh Yangyu was extremely shocked to see Ling Xiao unscathed after receiving the 7 Ultimate Slash. Moreover, the fist technique that Ling Xiao used was grand and majestic. It was as if it had subdued his Ghost King's Slaughter Saber. What was the origin of this young man? With such monstrous talent, even in the several great holy lands, there were very few disciples with such peerless talent. Moreover, he couldn't tell Ling Xiao's background from his martial arts at all. Cough, cough. Oh Yangyu coughed lightly, and a trace of blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. His right arm was crippled, and his internal organs were injured. He had been suppressing his injuries to fight Ling Xiao. Once he used his full strength, his injuries could not be suppressed and were showing signs of worsening. No, I have to end this quickly. This young man is too strange. If this continues, something will happen after a while. Oh Yangyu thought to himself. There was a hint of fear and murderous intent in his eyes. Thousand merge slash. Oh Yangyu shouted in a low voice. His entire body was covered in a ghostly aura. His figure flashed in the void and instantly turned into countless afterimages. A cold, dark, and terrifying murderous aura filled the air. Countless rays of blazing saber light merged with the afterimages in the sky and shot toward Ling Xiao. Although this move was not as grand as the 7 Ultimate Slash, it was extremely strange. The entire world seemed to have turned into a land of death. Oh Yangyu's afterimages were everywhere, and the cold saber light was everywhere. Chapter 125. Infinite Darkness Sword. A cold light flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes. He felt a strong sense of danger from Ouyang Yu's sword. The evil vanquisher ancient sword was unsheathed, emitting a dazzling sword light. A dark, cold, and mysterious aura came over. The sky was filled with black sword light. Accompanied by a clanging sound, the evil vanquisher ancient sword slashed towards Ouyang Yu. With a stab, it was as if heaven and earth had fallen into eternal darkness. Wherever the darkness shrouded, it was a massacre. Clang, clang. In the darkness, the sound of swords clashing could be heard. Ling Xiao used the Cloud Dragon 9 transformation technique and transformed into a strange shadow, colliding with the sword light that filled the sky. The infinite darkness sword was sharp and strange. Almost instantly, it destroyed the afterimages of Ouyang Yu and found the location of Ouyang Yu's real body. With a stab, the gods were destroyed. Its sharpness was unparalleled. A bloody light flashed, and a bloody scar appeared on Ouyang Yu's back. Ling Xiao's eyes were cold. He kicked out fiercely and the void exploded. It contained a monstrous divine power. Ouyang Yu's expression changed drastically. He hurriedly used his arm to block, but how terrifying was the power of Ling Xiao's kick. It could almost collapse a small mountain. With a crisp sound, Ouyang Yu's left arm was instantly fractured. He spat out another mouthful of blood and smashed onto a blue stone, smashing it into pieces. Ouyang Yu's right arm was crippled by the white-clothed woman, and now his left arm was also broken by Ling Xiao. His combat strength was reduced by more than half. Just like that, Ling Xiao did not give Ouyang Yu any chance. A cold light flashed in his eyes. The evil vanquisher ancient sword in his hand emitted an unparalleled sharpness and fell towards Ouyang Yu. Instantly, an unparalleled sword chi drowned him. A miserable scream sounded. Ouyang Yu's face was distorted. Countless bloody wounds appeared on his body as if he had been cut into pieces. Blood dripped, and his aura became incomparably weak. "Brat, I'll remember you. The next time we meet, it will be the time of your death." Ouyang Yu looked at Ling Xiao with resentment. Enduring the intense pain all over his body, his innate earth energy erupted and poured into his legs. He suddenly rushed into the distance. He knew that he wouldn't be able to gain anything by staying, so he decided to run away. Moreover, Ouyang Yu felt extremely aggrieved. He was at the 9th level of the Grandmaster stage. If the woman in white hadn't crippled his arm and seriously injured him, how could he have been bullied to this extent by a kid at the spirit transformation stage? Ouyang Yu secretly swore in his heart that once he recovered from his injuries, he would definitely tear this brat's body into pieces, leaving no one alive. There won't be a next time. Ling Xiao's indifferent voice rang in Ouyang Yu's ears. Ouyang Yu's body stiffened, and a look of disbelief appeared in her eyes. Unknowingly, Ling Xiao had already arrived behind him. How could this kid have such a terrifying speed? This was Ouyang Yu's final thought. Because in the next instant, the evil extermination ancient sword's unparalleled sharpness shot through the air like a shooting star, directly piercing through Ouyang Yu's chest. Blazing sword chi exploded, mincing his heart into pieces. Pif! Ouyang Yu spat out a mouthful of blood. Her eyes were filled with unwillingness and fear. She fell from the sky and died. What a close shave. If he hadn't lost an arm and suffered heavy injuries, I really wouldn't have been her match. Ling Xiao exhaled lightly, and the sharpness in his eyes receded. In the battle just now with Ouyang Yu, it could be said that except for the violent dragon superpower, Ling Xiao had used almost all of his techniques. Moreover, Ouyang Yu's Ghost King Slaughter was clearly an extremely powerful martial art. The second slash, Thousand Mirage slash, exploded with power comparable to a middle-grade Earth-rank martial art. If Ling Xiao hadn't crippled Ouyang Yu's right arm at the critical moment and slashed out with the third slash, Ling Xiao would probably have to use the Violent Dragon superpower to deal with it. Although the Violent Dragon superpower was powerful, this heaven-defying superpower squeezed out one's body's potential to the extreme. To Ling Xiao, it couldn't last long. Moreover, after using it, there would be a very long period of weakness. Therefore, Ling Xiao wouldn't easily use the Violent Dragon superpower unless it was a critical moment. Ghost King Slaughter, the third move is the Slaughter Slash? 1/all life. It's actually the underworld sect's martial art. Ling Xiao found a storage pouch on O Yangyu's body and found a martial art manual. It was the Ghost King's Slaughter. The Ghost King's Slaughter had a total of 3 moves: 7/, 1000 Mirage / and Slaughter /. Moreover, Ling Xiao actually saw the skull symbol of the underworld sect on this secret manual. Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of contemplation. It seemed that O Yangyu wasn't just someone from the great mysterious ancient kingdom. He actually had some relationship with the underworld sect. Ling Xiao gradually became aware of the forces in the 8 Desolates region. In the entire 8 Desolates region, there were 5 martial holy grounds: Sun Moon Star Sect, Thousand Beasts Sect, Jade Lake Sect, Underworld Sect, and Terminator Demon Sect. The 5 martial holy grounds stood at the peak of the 8 Desolates region and were fully deserving of the title of Overlord. Under the 5 martial holy grounds, there were 4 ancient kingdoms and countless weak kingdoms. These kingdoms and ancient kingdoms were all subordinate to the 5 martial holy grounds. 10,000 years ago, the Longevity Sect was the #1 martial holy ground in the world. At that time, there were 8 ancient kingdoms named Heaven, Earth, Black, Yellow, Universe, and Chaos. These 8 ancient kingdoms were all subordinate to the Longevity Sect and only obeyed its orders. However, after 10,000 years, the 8 Desolates region underwent a great change. Countless sects rose and fell, and the ancient kingdoms were destroyed. Today, only the Great Mysterious Ancient Kingdom, Great Yellow Ancient Kingdom, Great Flood Ancient Kingdom, and Great Desolation Ancient Kingdom remained. Among them, the Great Mysterious Ancient Kingdom was backed by the Jade Lake Sect and had a close relationship with the Jade Lake Sect. The Underworld sect's hand actually reached out to the Great Mysterious Ancient Kingdom. Ling Xiao only thought about it for a moment before throwing it to the back of his mind. I wonder how that white-clothed woman, the Empress of the Great Mysterious Ancient Kingdom, is doing? Ling Xiao thought and was about to turn around to check on the white-clothed woman's situation. Just as Ling Xiao turned around, a pair of jade-like arms hugged him tightly. At the same time, a soft and delicate body laid on top of Ling Xiao. This is... Ling Xiao's eyes widened as his body suddenly stiffened. In front of him was a beautiful woman without a single thread of clothing. Her skin was as white as jade, and her figure was slender with exquisite curves. Her entire body emitted an abnormal flush as she violently twisted in Ling Xiao's embrace. Her jet black hair was like a waterfall, smooth and dense, and her jade-white forehead was covered in fine beads of sweat. She had willow leaf-shaped brows, red phoenix-shaped eyes, a fine nose, and a small mouth that was red and moist like a cherry, and it outlined a peerlessly beautiful face. This was a peerless and inviolable face. However, at this moment, her eyes were blurred and her face was rosy, emitting a bewitching allure. P.S. Many brothers say that Muyu's 3 chapters a day is very slow, but Muyu is not a full-time writer. Muyu has her own job. Muyu works at the court, especially at the end of the year when there are a lot of cases. As a judge, she doesn't even have time on the weekends and has to work overtime to write judgments. She can only squeeze out some time at night to write novels. To Muyu, the Eternal Emperor is like Muyu's child. Seeing that the brothers and sisters like it and vote for Muyu every day, Muyu is very grateful, so Muyu is ready to go all out. She will sleep a bit later at night and wake up early in the morning. From tomorrow onwards, Muyu doesn't know how long she can last, but as long as the brothers and sisters continue to read, Muyu will work hard to write well. Brothers, seeing Muyu working so hard, please vote for me, tip me, and bookmark me, hehe. Chapter 126. She's that white-clothed woman? The great Xian Empress? Ling Xiao was stunned. He didn't think that under the veil of the white-clothed woman's veil, there would be such a peerless beauty. Even Ling Xiao's heart couldn't help but beat faster. The white-clothed woman's arms suddenly hugged Ling Xiao's neck tightly. Her skin was soft and smooth like silk. Her delicate body emitted endless temptation, especially the towering saintess peak in front of her chest, which constantly rubbed against Ling Xiao's body. The woman's delicate fragrance entered Ling Xiao's mouth and nose. At the same time, a soft and smooth little tongue burrowed into Ling Xiao's slightly open mouth. The two tongues intertwined. That strange feeling was enough to drive people crazy. A wicked fire rose in Ling Xiao's heart. He couldn't hold it in anymore and directly hugged the white-clothed woman tightly. Ling Xiao's hands roamed all over the white-clothed woman's body. In the end, he even climbed up the goddess peak. That soft and smooth feeling caused him to have an instant reaction. The two bodies intertwined and fell on the grass. The white-clothed woman's body became hotter and hotter, and her eyes became more and more blurred. Her red lips constantly fell on Ling Xiao's body, and she hugged Ling Xiao tighter and tighter. Just when Ling Xiao couldn't hold it in anymore and was about to take his spear and mount her, the white-clothed woman's mouth let out a hazy voice. "No. No." Ling Xiao's body shook, and his eyes instantly regained clarity. "Although I'm not a gentleman, I can't take advantage of someone when they're in danger. You're lucky that my heaven-devouring secret technique can heal you. Otherwise, even if I'm unwilling, I can only use that method to heal you." Ling Xiao smiled bitterly and put the white-clothed woman on the grass. Most importantly, this white-clothed woman wasn't easy to deal with. She was the empress of the great Xian ancient kingdom, a super expert of the heaven realm. If Ling Xiao really touched her, he was afraid that when she woke up, she would go crazy and kill Ling Xiao. Therefore, Ling Xiao resisted the impulse in his heart and prepared to heal her. The sky-devouring mystic skill could refine all things in the world. Any poison or heterogeneous true qi could be absorbed by the sky-devouring mystic skill. Therefore, although the goddess undressing powder was overbearing, it could be neutralized by the sky-devouring true qi. At this moment, the white-robed woman was completely naked. Her body was alluring as she wriggled around, trying to grab Ling Xiao a few times. Her skin touched his, and Ling Xiao almost couldn't control himself. "What a demon!" Ling Xiao mumbled. He didn't dare to look at the woman in white anymore. His hand slowly lowered, placing it on the woman in white's abdomen. The golden heaven-devouring true qi flowed through Ling Xiao's meridians and entered the body of the lady in white. Within the white-clothed woman's body, strands of mysterious pink light were swimming all over her body. It seemed to be able to stimulate the most primitive desires in a person's body, emitting ripples that could make people confused. However, when the heaven-devouring true qi surged in, the strands of pink light seemed to be frightened and wanted to escape. However, the golden light surged and instantly turned into a dazzling vortex, pulling the pink light over and devouring it. Just like that, Ling Xiao operated the sky-devouring mystic skill and began to neutralize the poison of the goddess undressing powder in the white-clothed woman's body. Before long, Ling Xiao's forehead was full of sweat. He was sweating profusely and his entire body was soaked. There was no other way. The woman in front of him was too alluring, and she kept wriggling, which was extremely testing Ling Xiao's endurance. Healing the white-clothed woman was more tiring than fighting with Ouyangyu. Ling Xiao could only try his best to restrain himself and not pay attention to the woman in white's body. Ninth level of the celestial realm failed to break through to the noble plane, and her dantian and sea of qi were eroded by a mysterious force. Is she seriously injured? Ling Xiao's eyes flashed as he sensed the situation in the woman in white's dantian. The woman in white's dantian and sea of qi were extremely majestic, as if it was really a vast ocean. Her genuine qi was boundless and unfathomable. However, above the sea of qi, there was a layer of mysterious purple qi, which seemed to be preventing the woman in white from operating her genuine qi and eroding her sea of qi. Innate purple qi. Where did this woman in white break through? She dared to absorb the innate purple qi when she was only in the celestial realm. Fortunately, she was lucky. Otherwise, it wouldn't be as simple as a failed breakthrough. She would have exploded from the innate purple qi and died without a complete corpse. Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of shock. He recognized the mysterious purple qi. It was the legendary innate purple qi, the first wisp of essence energy at the birth of heaven and earth. This innate purple qi came from the origin of the void of the world and could not be captured. Only those in the supreme realm could absorb and refine it with great wisdom and strength. The innate purple chi was the supreme spiritual chi for the supreme realm experts, but it was comparable to poison for those below the supreme realm. If it was accidentally absorbed and refined, even those in the noble plane would die without a doubt. Ling Xiao was quite shocked that the woman in white had innate purple chi in her body. After all, he was very familiar with this innate purple chi in his previous life. Fortunately, you met me. Otherwise, even if the goddess's clothes removal powder was cured, with the innate purple chi blocking your sea of chi, it would be impossible for you to break through to the noble plane in this lifetime. I'll be a good person to the end and help you to get rid of the innate purple chi. Ling Xiao muttered to himself, but his eyes were shining brightly. Others might not be able to refine the innate purple chi, but he had the sky-devouring secret skill. Although these few wisps of innate purple chi were very small, they contained the purest energy. If he could refine them, he would definitely break through to the Dragon Tiger realm. Boom! Ling Xiao made up his mind. Suddenly, golden heaven-devouring true chi gushed out and formed a dazzling vortex in the woman's chi sea. Strands of golden light turned into countless tiny talisman characters, looking mysterious and ancient. The golden vortex released a strong suction force. Suddenly, the innate purple chi in the air trembled slightly and a wisp of it began to float towards the golden vortex. Great! Ling Xiao was overjoyed. The wisp of innate purple chi surged and was instantly absorbed into his body. The sky-devouring secret skill was activated and the innate purple chi turned into an incomparably pure energy that flowed throughout Ling Xiao's body. As if he had eaten a divine elixir, Ling Xiao's entire body was comfortable. The purple light was dense and it was as if he was about to ascend. Moreover, as the innate purple chi surged into Ling Xiao's sea of chi, his cultivation of the 8th level of the spirit transformation realm began to rise rapidly. As long as I can refine this innate purple chi, my cultivation will definitely break through to the Dragon Tiger realm. Ling Xiao's eyes were filled with excitement. Chapter 127. The wordless heavenly book burped like a human and emitted a trace of joy. The golden light on it rose violently and increased by 10%. Ling Xiao was dumbfounded. This was simply snatching food from a tiger's mouth. The food he had just found was snatched away by the wordless heavenly book before he could even eat it. This was a fucking bandit. The corner of Ling Xiao's mouth twitched. He was so angry that he wanted to curse. However, the wordless heavenly book ignored him. It emitted a flickering light and secretly laughed at the innate purple energy. Ling Xiao was depressed for a long time. In the end, he comforted himself. After the wordless heavenly book devoured the energy, it wasn't a waste. The golden light on it had reached 90%. When it was completely filled with energy, it would reveal a secret technique. Thinking of this, the depression in Ling Xiao's heart slightly disappeared. Without the innate purple energy sealing her chi si, the true energy in the woman's dantian surged and actually circulated on its own to expel the effects of the goddess undressing powder. Ling Xiao also saved a lot of trouble. A moment later, all the pink energy was devoured and refined by Ling Xiao. A powerful aura of life emitted from the woman's body. The woman in white slowly opened her eyes. Seeing the scene before her, the woman in white almost fainted. Ling Xiao's hand had unknowingly placed on her saintess peak and gently pinched it twice. That numbing feeling made the woman in white both embarrassed and angry. Her eyes became incomparably cold. Damn it! The woman in white struck a palm toward Ling Xiao, but a sense of powerlessness suddenly came from her body. The powerful true energy retreated like the tide and finally landed on Ling Xiao's face. It was like a caress, very intimate. Ling Xiao was also shocked. Seeing the woman in white go berserk, he was about to retreat. However, Ling Xiao also felt the woman in white's aura weaken. His body stopped moving and he looked at the woman in white with a smile. Is this how you treat your savior? If I didn't help you kill Ouyang Yu and get rid of the goddess undressing powder, you should know very well what would have happened to you. You really killed Ouyang Yu? The woman in white was startled and a trace of disbelief appeared in her eyes. After all, The youth before her was only at the 8th level of the spirit transformation realm. How could he have killed Ouyangyu? The woman in white did not see the battle between Ling Xiao and Ouyangyu. At that time, her mind had already been corroded by the goddess's undressing powder. Of course it's real. I, Ling Xiao, have slain supremes and slaughtered true dragons. I'm invincible throughout the world, and I'm the #1 person throughout history. Killing a mere Ouyangyu is too easy. Ling Xiao chuckled. The woman in white burst into laughter, but when she saw Ling Xiao's mischievous gaze, she immediately reacted. Her face instantly turned red, and her eyes revealed a mixture of shame and anger. "You bastard! Turn around." The white-robed woman was so angry that she almost fainted. Only then did she realize that she was completely naked, and her entire body had been seen by Ling Xiao. "Tisk, it's not like I haven't seen it before." Ling Xiao muttered. "What did you say?" The white-robed woman's expression was unfriendly, and her eyes were about to spit fire. "Nothing." Ling Xiao felt that the white-robed woman was about to go berserk, and he immediately turned his head guiltily. The white-robed woman quickly took out her clothes from her storage treasure and put them on. An ice-cold sword light was pressed against Ling Xiao's chest. Ling Xiao was shocked and hurriedly said, "Big sister, you can't repay kindness with ingratitude. Not only did I help you kill Ouyangyu, but I also helped you neutralize the goddess's undressing powder. Even if you don't repay me, you can't treat me like this, right?" Ling Xiao laughed bitterly, but he felt that the white-robed woman's aura was very weak, and the sword light behind her did not have any killing intent, so he did not resist. In the end, Ling Xiao was still guilty. It was true that he had saved the white-clothed woman, but he had also looked at the white-clothed woman from head to toe, and even touched her all over. If this could let the white-robed woman vent some of her anger, Ling Xiao would accept it. "If you dare to tell anyone about what happened today, even if I have to chase you to the ends of the earth, I'll kill you," the white-robed woman said through gritted teeth, and her eyes were filled with shame and anger. She had already checked her body when she woke up. Fortunately, Ling Xiao did not do anything to her, which made her feel relieved. At the same time, she also had a complicated feeling towards Ling Xiao. She did not really want to kill Ling Xiao, but only wanted to threaten him. "Your Majesty, don't worry. Even if you lend me a few guts, I wouldn't dare. I didn't see anything." Ling Xiao only turned his head with a bitter smile when he felt the sword light disappear. But in the next moment, his eyes widened. At this moment, the white-clothed woman was wearing a long white dress. Her figure was slender and graceful, and her hair was thick and lustrous. It was as soft as satin, and it was draped over her shoulders lazily, emitting a feminine fragrance. Her skin was snow-white, sparkling and translucent like jade, but there was also a faint blush. Her face was incomparably exquisite and flawless. Her pair of beautiful big eyes revealed an expression that was both angry and shy, making one's heart flutter uncontrollably. The white-robed woman exuded a graceful and elegant temperament, as if she was a goddess from the Moon Palace. She was untainted by the mortal world, and her beauty was peerless. Even Ling Xiao, who was used to seeing countless geniuses and beauties, could not help but be dazed for a moment. The white-robed woman's appearance and temperament were extraordinary, and she was much more beautiful than Nangong Qing and Lu Piapiao. No wonder she usually wore a thin veil on her face. Otherwise, with such a peerless appearance, it would be very troublesome wherever she went. "Am I good-looking, little brother?" Seeing Ling Xiao's passionate gaze, the white-robed woman's eyes wandered, and she giggled, exuding a languid and charming temperament. "Your Majesty is peerless in beauty, so of course you're very good-looking." Ling Xiao was very thick-skinned. He carefully sized up the white-robed woman and nodded with a smile. "You're so young, but you're already so naughty. You deserve a beating. Little brother, who are you? Why did you follow me here?" The white-robed woman's face blushed, but she concealed it immediately. She sat cross-legged by the pool and asked casually as she washed up. The white-robed woman was not an ordinary person, and she had already concealed her embarrassment and uneasiness. At this moment, The atmosphere between the two of them was much more harmonious. After all, Ling Xiao was her savior, and the white-robed woman did not intend to repay his kindness with ingratitude. Chapter 128. My name is Ling Xiao, and I'm from the Great Barren Ancient Kingdom. I was planning to pass through the fearsome Beast Mountain Range and head to the capital, but I met Ren Tianxing from the Sky Escort Agency on the way. Ling Xiao smiled faintly and sat beside the white-robed lady as if they were close friends. He did not hide anything. When he talked about how the Sky Escort Agency was attacked by demonic beasts many times and how they met Wang Wei and the others, the woman in white's eyes flashed coldly. Yang Yu has been harboring evil intentions for a long time. He used Ren Tianxing and his daughter to set up a trap for me. Fortunately, Ren Tianxing and his daughter are fine. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to vent my hatred even if I killed all 9 generations of his family. The woman in white's face revealed a faint majesty. It was only now that she seemed to reveal a trace of the domineering aura of an empress. Your Majesty, it seems that Ren Tianxing and his 2 daughters are very important to you? Ling Zhao's ears twitched and a thoughtful look appeared in his eyes. They are the descendants of an old friend of mine and were stranded in the Great Barren Ancient Kingdom. One of the purposes of my trip is to find them. The woman in white said faintly. So that's how it is. Ling Xiao nodded and said, later, we were trapped in the Blood Spirit Demon Transformation Formation and saw the battle between you and the chaotic demonic ape. After that, we escaped from the battlefield. I was very curious about the person behind the formation, so I didn't leave and followed you all the way here. I didn't expect the mastermind to be your Majesty's subordinate, Yang Yu. The reason Yang Yu set up the Blood Spirit Demon Transformation Formation there was because I was recuperating nearby. He knew that if Ren Tianxing and the others were in danger, I would definitely not sit idly by. This kid is really vicious and scheming. He lured the chaotic demonic ape and I to fight each other and then launched a sneak attack. This time, it's really all thanks to you. The woman in white said lazily. She could not help but blush when she thought of the goddess disrobing powder. She felt a lingering fear in her heart. If Ling Xiao had not been hiding nearby, the consequences would have been unimaginable. Your Majesty, I'm very curious. How did you find me? Ling Xiao asked curiously. He used the sky-devouring secret technique to conceal his aura, and his body was as still as an ancient well. He was like a lifeless rock. Ling Xiao was confident that a Sky Realm expert could not find him. Your chi concealment technique is indeed extraordinary. Sky Realm experts can't find you. But my bloodline is a little special, so I found you. The woman in white said with a smile. Special bloodline? Could it be the Heavenly Fate bloodline? Ling Zhao's eyes flickered as he blurted out. You actually know about the Heavenly Fate bloodline? For you. The woman in white's expression changed, and her eyes revealed a trace of coldness. This was her biggest secret. She didn't expect Ling Xiao to reveal it so easily. I'm just guessing. I once heard from Ren Tianxing and his daughter that you're from the Jade Lake sect. The Jade Lake sect was passed down by Ji Hengong, a disciple of the Heaven Devourer Supreme, 10,000 years ago. I once read an ancient book that recorded some of Ji Hengong's deeds. He possessed the Heaven's Secrets bloodline and could see through the secrets of the heavens. You said that you have a special bloodline, so I immediately thought of the Heavenly Secret bloodline. Could it be that you are a descendant of the Cold Palace? Ling Xiao chuckled and pushed all the blame to the ancient books as he probed. You really have a good memory. The woman in white smiled faintly. She felt that Ling Xiao had a lot of secrets, but she didn't pursue it. The Cold Palace is indeed my ancestor. You don't have to call me Her Majesty. I have a name, Ji Feishuan. Ji Feishuan? What a nice name. Ling Xiao nodded and smiled. However, he glanced at Ji Feishuan from the corner of his eyes and said suspiciously, since you possess the Heavenly Fate bloodline, how could you not sense Yang Yu's ill intentions? Could it be that your Heavenly Fate bloodline is defective? Ji Feishuan's body stiffened as a few black lines appeared on her forehead. She gritted her teeth. This guy in front of her was too despicable. She didn't know where her usual calm temperament had gone. Ling Zhao's words made her so angry that she wanted to explode. My heavenly fate bloodline isn't defective. Something happened when I was breaking through previously, causing the heavenly fate bloodline to be deceived. My sea of qi is actually healed, the woman in white said while gritting her teeth. However, in the end, her eyes moved and revealed a trace of surprise. The innate purple qi in her sea of qi had completely disappeared. The sea of qi that was originally sealed began to circulate slowly and was recovering with every passing second. Although her internal organs were deeply injured, the changes in her sea of qi still surprised and delighted her. When I detoxified your poison, I also healed your sea of qi. How is it? Are you touched and want to repay me with your body? Ling Xiao smiled casually. Repay your head. Ji Feishuan rolled her eyes at him. She was extremely flirtatious and charming, causing the world to lose its color. Ling Zhao's heart couldn't help but tremble. This seductress is really charming. At this moment, the sky was already bright. The sun rose from the horizon and sprinkled down rays of golden light. It was gorgeous and dazzling. The valley gradually lit up. The waterfall, the spring, and the bamboo forest were elegant. It was extremely quiet and secluded. The sunlight shone on Ji Feishuan's body, causing her to glow. Her temperament was ethereal and otherworldly, giving off a feeling that she was about to ascend. Her beauty was unparalleled and unparalleled. Ling Zhao's eyes were filled with admiration as they landed on Ji Feishuan's body. After all, having a beauty by his side was very comforting. Ji Feishuan's eyes revealed a trace of surprise. Of course, she was very clear about her appearance. It was enough to drive countless men crazy. However, Ling Xiao seemed to be different. Ji Feishuan could only see pure admiration in his eyes. There was no hint of lust at all. Moreover, this young man had a very comfortable and clean aura. Ji Feishuan couldn't help but feel a sense of closeness. I'm hungry. Ji Feishuan smiled lazily and looked at Ling Xiao with her big watery eyes. You're hungry? I'm hungry too. Ling Xiao glanced at Ji Feishuan and felt a little empty in his stomach. After all, he had exhausted a lot of energy after a night of battle. Now, his stomach was rumbling with hunger. Aren't you going to look for food? Don't tell me you want a weak woman like me to go? Ji Feishuan glared at Ling Xiao and said angrily, You're not a weak woman. Even the chaotic world demonic ape is no match for you. Ling Xiao muttered softly. However, he still stood up. It was indeed time for him to go look for food. Ling Xiao bathed in the sunlight and left. His clothes were whiter than snow and he looked elegant and otherworldly. Ji Feishuan looked at Ling Zhao's back and was slightly dazed. It seemed like she hadn't had such a relaxed moment in a long time. This young man seemed to have a magical power. He wasn't afraid of Ji Feishuan's identity as the Empress. Instead, he treated her as an equal. Ji Feishuan seemed to have forgotten about her cultivation, identity, and status. Today, she wasn't the Empress of Great Xian but a heavenly being expert. Chapter 129. The bonfire burned brightly, dispersing the cold air in the mountain. Ling Xiao had returned. He had plucked many spirit fruits and even fished out many silver spirit fishes. He washed and peeled them by the pool and set them on the fire to roast. The spiritual fish's meat was delicious and they were about a foot long. Ling Xiao smeared honey and various seasonings on them and roasted them until they were golden and fragrant. Even Ji Feishuan's appetite was aroused when she saw the roasted fish. Her beautiful eyes stared at the fish with anticipation. I didn't expect you to have such skills. Ji Feishuan exclaimed. This is nothing. If I claim to be second in cooking, no one will dare to claim to be first. Even supreme beings can't taste my cooking. You're in luck today. Ling Xiao said with a smile. Stop being so cocky. Ji Feishuan rolled her eyes at him. It's cooked. Have a taste. Ling Xiao chuckled and passed the roasted spiritual fish to Ji Feishuan. Ji Feishuan's eyes instantly lit up and she quickly took it. A wave of fragrance assailed her nostrils. The spiritual fish looked crystal clear, and its meat was delicious. The honey mixed with oil emitted a dazzling light, and one look at it was enough to whet one's appetite. Ji Feishuan stretched out her slender fingers and tore off a piece. The honey instantly formed a thin thread that emitted white steam and aroused one's appetite. When Ji Feishuan put it into her mouth, she felt a burning fragrance mixed with a tender and smooth feeling. It melted in her mouth and a warm current flowed through her body. Instantly, her entire body felt warm and comfortable. "It's delicious," Ji Feishuan exclaimed and started eating without caring about her image. This kind of spiritual fish contained a trace of spiritual energy. During Ling Zhao's cooking process, he mixed various spiritual herbs and seasonings together. The roasted spiritual fish was not only delicious but also had a healing effect. Ling Zhao's skills were indeed extraordinary. Just like that, Ling Xiao was in charge of roasting while Ji Feishuan was in charge of eating. After eating more than 10 spiritual fishes, Ji Feishuan let out a long breath with a satisfied expression. "Little brother, your skills are really good. You're much better than my imperial chefs. Why don't you follow me back to the great mysterious ancient kingdom? I'll make you the head chef," Ji Feishuan said with a smile. "Forget about it. I have no intention of becoming a chef." Ling Xiao was taken aback for a moment. Then he smiled and refused. What a joke! In his previous life, there were only a few people in the world who could eat the food that Ling Xiao made. Even the average supreme being didn't have the qualifications to eat it. Ling Xiao still had many things to do in the Grand Desolation Ancient Kingdom, so he couldn't just go there. He could tell that Ji Feishuan was trying to recruit him, so he rejected her without hesitation. What a pity! Ji Feishuan smiled. She could hear the rejection in Ling Zhao's words, but she did not insist. "I found this on Ouyang Yu's body. Take a look." Ling Xiao took out the Ghost King's Slaughter Blade manual and a black token from his longevity ring. Both of them had the symbol of a skull on them. Netherworld sect? Ji Feishuan's eyes flashed coldly. "I didn't think that this group of cowards would actually target my grand mysterious ancient kingdom. If my guess is correct, then I'm afraid the Southern Zhao King is a pawn of the underworld school." The Southern Zhao King was Ji Feishuan's royal uncle, a king of the grand mysterious ancient kingdom. He had always been dissatisfied with Ji Feishuan becoming the empress of the grand mysterious ancient kingdom. He didn't think that he would dare to rebel this time. If the underworld sect wants to scheme against the grand mysterious ancient kingdom, I'm afraid that Ouyang Yu isn't the only pawn. If they dare to make a move against you, then they must have made ample preparations, Ling Xiao said with a thoughtful look on his face. The 4 great ancient kingdoms were backed by the 4 great martial holy grounds. Only the underworld sect's whereabouts were mysterious. Although they had a few small kingdoms under them, they didn't have a force like the 4 great ancient kingdoms. Now that the underworld sect had bared their fangs and was plotting against the grand mysterious ancient kingdom, their scheme wasn't small. Ling Xiao faintly felt that a storm was coming. Yes, the Southern Zhao King is also a pawn of the underworld sect. I just don't know how many more people are hiding in the dark. It seems that I have to return home as soon as possible. Ji Feishuan's eyes revealed a cold glint. The innate purple qi in your body has been resolved by me. In a few days, you should be able to completely recover your cultivation. Moreover, after this tribulation, your chances of breaking through to the royal noble realm have increased by a lot. After breaking through with the purple firmament godly sword art, you will be much stronger than ordinary royal nobles after reaching the royal noble realm. However, I don't understand. Since you can cultivate the purple firmament godly sword art, you should be a high-level member of the Jade Lake sect. How did you become the empress of the grand mysterious ancient kingdom? Ling Zhao's eyes revealed a trace of curiosity. I am the current saintess of the Jade Lake sect, Ji Feishuan said indifferently. At the same time, I was once the grand princess of the grand mysterious ancient kingdom. After my royal father passed away, he didn't pass the throne to my brothers, but to me. That innate purple qi was something that even my Jade Lake sect's supreme elders couldn't do anything about. How did you resolve it? Ling Xiao faintly smiled and said, Didn't I tell you? This young master has swept through the 8 desolaces and reigned supreme for eternity. I have slain supremes and slaughtered true dragons. What is a mere innate purple chi? However, where did you break through to the royal noble realm? How did you get tainted by the innate purple chi? This was what Ling Xiao cared about the most. If he could find the source of the innate purple chi, not only would his cultivation rapidly increase, but the wordless heavenly scripture would also be able to recover quickly. You are boasting again. Ji Feishuan glanced at Ling Xiao and said, I was breaking through in a forbidden area of the Jade Lake sect. I don't know why, but the innate purple chi invaded my body and caused me to fail on the verge of success and be seriously injured. This time, I also found out about the existence of the Nine Heavens Spirit Dissolving Grass in the fearsome Beast Mountain range, so I came here to find it to heal my injuries. However, I didn't find the Nine Heavens Spirit Dissolving Grass and instead encountered so many problems. The forbidden area of the Jade Lake sect? Ling Zhao's eyes flashed. Perhaps there was information related to Ji Hanqi there. Ling Xiao made up his mind to visit the Jade Lake sect when he had time. Nine Heavens Spirit Dissolving Grass. You are saying that there is a Nine Heavens Spirit Dissolving Grass in the fearsome Beast Mountain range? That is the king of spirit medicines. Rumor has it that it can dissolve all kinds of strange energy and allow a cultivator to be reborn. It is actually in the fearsome Beast Mountain range? Ling Xiao was also a little excited. The Nine Heavens Spirit Dissolving Grass was extremely precious to Ling Xiao. It was one of the main ingredients needed to cultivate the ancestral dragon secret art. However, the Nine Heavens Spirit Dissolving Grass was too precious and too rare. Even Ling Xiao was not confident that he could find it. Now it seems that the news about the Nine Heavens Spirit Dissolving Grass was deliberately released by them to lure me to the fearsome Beast Mountain range. However, the news about the Nine Heavens Spirit Dissolving Grass should be true. This is a chi drawing stone. There is a trace of the Nine Heavens Spirit Dissolving Grass's aura sealed in it. I don't need it now, so I will give it to you. Maybe you can find it. Chapter 130. The Chi Drawing Stone? It's indeed the aura of the Nine Heavens spiritual herb. With the Chi Drawing Stone, it'll be much easier to find it. Ling Xiao took the Chi Drawing Stone and used his mental strength to feel the aura within it. His eyes revealed a trace of a smile. With the Chi Drawing Stone, as long as it appeared within 1,000 feet of the Nine Heavens spiritual herb, the Chi Drawing Stone would light up. Although 1,000 feet was still like finding a needle in a haystack in the huge fearsome Beast Mountain range, it was still a clue. Thank you, I'm going to heal my injuries. Ji Feishuan smiled with a trace of sincerity in her eyes. No matter what, Ling Xiao had helped her a lot. Not only did he get rid of her enemies, but he also healed her injuries. Therefore, her gratitude came from the bottom of her heart. Don't mention it. I didn't lose out anyway. Ling Xiao grinned brightly. What did you say? Ji Feishuan's body stiffened. She was instantly enraged and looked at Ling Xiao with a trace of hostility. The trace of gratitude she had for Ling Xiao also disappeared without a trace. Nothing. I'll go catch some fish. Ling Xiao chuckled, turned around, and quickly slipped away. He felt that he had to restrain himself. Otherwise, he would be in trouble when Ji Feishuan recovered her cultivation. Ji Feishuan sat cross-legged by the pool. Her clothes were whiter than snow and her hair was like a waterfall. Her entire body was shrouded in a faint glow. Mist was rising and dense, giving off an ethereal temperament. Ling Xiao felt an aura that was as deep as the sea from Ji Feishuan's body. It was as if she had become one with the surrounding heaven and earth. This was a heaven realm powerhouse. They could become one with heaven and earth at any time and mobilize the power of heaven and earth. They had begun to surpass the limits of mortals. This was the process of exploring heaven and earth. It was also the process of life evolution. The purpose of every living being cultivating the martial Tao was to pursue the ultimate mystery of immortality. Ling Xiao also sat cross-legged not far away from Ji Feishuan. Ling Xiao had gained a lot from the battle with Wang Wei and Ouyang Yu, so he needed to digest it carefully. Just like that, Ling Xiao and Ji Feishuan healed and cultivated in the valley. When they were awake, Ling Xiao would make all kinds of delicious dishes. Ji Feishuan was full of praise every time she ate them. The days were peaceful and warm. Just like that, a few days passed. Ji Feishuan's aura grew stronger and stronger. It seemed like she was about to break through the heavenly man void and reach another level. Ling Xiao knew that Ji Feishuan had completely recovered her cultivation at the 9th level of the celestial realm. Her aura was complete and flawless, and she was only a step away from entering the noble stage. On the other hand, Ji Feishuan appeared to be in her 20s. A noble plane cultivator in his 20s was extremely shocking in the entire 8 Desolation region. Those who could break through to the Guru realm before the age of 30 were all geniuses. However, if one wanted to comprehend the oneness of heaven and men from the Guru realm and advance to the celestial being realm, it would take many geniuses decades of effort. However, Ji Feishuan had already reached the celestial being realm at such a young age and was about to become a noble realm expert. Even in the entire war god continent, she was considered a peerless genius. Boom! In the valley, there was the sound of muffled thunder in the void. The weather changed, and the spiritual energy within a radius of 1,000 miles surged over. Rays of light spread across the place like divine chains. They soared into the sky and sealed off the entire valley. The sword hummed softly, and the grass and trees trembled. An extremely powerful sword aura soared into the sky from the valley and formed a gigantic purple light sword in the sky. Rumble! Purple lightning struck down with unparalleled heat. It enveloped the purple light sword, flickering and emitting an aura that could destroy everything. Ji Feishuan's figure soared into the sky and stood in the air. Her body was enveloped by countless dazzling sword auras. Tens of thousands of sword rays emitted purple divine light in the void. Her aura was shocking and shook the heavens and the earth. Her white robe and hair fluttered in the wind. Her aura was otherworldly and peerless. It was as if a fairy had descended from the heavens and emitted a copious amount of energy from the heavens and the earth. She actually comprehended the true intent of destruction of the purple firmament godly sword. What a terrifying comprehension! It seems like it won't be long before she can cultivate the purple firmament godly sword technique to the greater completion realm. Ling Xiao praised. The talent that Ji Feishuan displayed was even greater than that of her ancestor, Ling Xiao's disciple, Ji Hanqi. It was as if Ji Feishuan had gone through a life and death metamorphosis. Her sword Dao had also been refined and became even sharper, as if it could pierce through everything. At this moment, Ji Feishuan's eyes flickered. She looked into the distance and soared into the sky in an instant. Only Ling Xiao was left dumbfounded in the valley. Could it be that this woman has recovered her cultivation and is afraid that I'll ask her for a reward, so she ran away? Ling Xiao thought to himself, but he felt that it wasn't the case. An earth-shattering roar was heard. It contained a wave of madness and fear, and it was accompanied by the sound of an intense battle. It's the chaotic demonic ape? Ling Xiao's eyes flickered. He could instantly tell that the roar was very familiar. It was from the chaotic demonic ape. Ling Xiao immediately understood something from the sound of the battle. This woman is really vengeful. She just recovered her cultivation and she can't wait to seek revenge from the chaotic demonic ape. Ling Xiao secretly clenched his teeth. He also moved and dashed in the direction of the roar. Fortunately, the roar was not far away. In addition, Ling Xiao was rushing. Although he was not as fast as Ji Feishuan, he still arrived very quickly. Boom! In a dense forest, countless towering ancient trees collapsed and the ground cracked. There were many sword marks that were hundreds of feet long and emitted a sharp aura. The chaotic demonic ape let out a miserable howl and fell into the forest with a loud boom. There was a huge bloody hole on its chest as if it had been hollowed out by something. When Ling Xiao arrived, he happened to see the chaotic demonic ape lying on the ground. Dust flew everywhere and countless rocks and plants were turned into dust. She ended the battle so quickly? Ling Xiao looked at Ji Feishuan, who was in the void, and clicked his tongue. At this moment, Ji Feishuan was standing in the air with an extremely sharp aura. Her body was emitting a dazzling glow. Her eyes were indifferent, majestic, and domineering. She revealed the domineering aura of an empress. In the void, a 10,000 feet long purple light sword slowly disappeared, emitting a destructive wave. Ling Xiao knew that it was the purple light sword that killed the chaotic demonic ape. With a single sword, the chaotic demonic ape, which was at the peak of the 6th rank, died. Although the chaotic demonic ape was severely injured by Ji Feishuan, this scene was still very shocking. The 100-feet-long chaotic demonic ape was shining with golden light as if it was cast in gold. It lay on the cold ground without any signs of life. Chapter 131. You're leaving? Ling Xiao felt something and raised his head to look at Ji Feishuan. That's right. The underworld sect has launched an attack and the grand mysterious ancient kingdom is in danger. I must return. Ji Feishuan's voice was very soft and there was an indescribable light flickering in her eyes. The young man in front of her was mysterious and powerful. Ji Feishuan even had a misconception that Ling Xiao was not a young man but an old monster that retained eternal youth. It seemed like there was nothing this young man could not do. I'm fine. Just walk 100 miles north from here and you will be out of the fearsome Beast Mountain range. You don't have to worry about me, hee. Ling Xiao laughed mischievously with clear and bright eyes. Who wants to worry about you? Shameless. Ji Feishuan giggled like 100 flowers blooming, causing the world to lose its color. There was a soul-stirring beauty to it. Ling Xiao's narcissistic words seemed to have washed away the sadness of parting by quite a bit. This chaotic world demonic ape will be my parting gift to you. Also, keep this well. If you have time to come to the Xuandu city, you can come and find me directly. Ji Feishuan pointed at the chaotic world demonic ape on the ground. Then, a light flashed in her hand and a jade tablet appeared. The jade tablet was very simple with 9 dragons carved on it. It was as gentle as jade and emitted a faint spiritual light. 2 ancient characters were carved on both sides. Mysterious King. Ling Xiao took the jade tablet and weighed it in his hand before he teased, Don't tell me you're really going to make me a king on par with you? If that's the case, I won't be able to bear it. Take a guess. Ji Feishuan smiled sweetly but did not answer him directly. Alright, we'll meet again someday. Ji Feishuan rose into the sky with her clothes fluttering. Her face was covered with a veil again, making her look like an otherworldly goddess. Ji Feishuan took a deep look at Ling Xiao before she left. Ling Xiao looked at Ji Feishuan's departing figure and suddenly had a wicked thought. He shouted, Little Xian Xian, you have to wear the veil on your face properly. Don't let others see your face. One day, I'll personally take off your veil in Xuandu City. You're my woman. In the air, Ji Feishuan's body stiffened as a few black lines appeared on her forehead. However, she did not turn around. Instead, she increased her speed and soared into the sky, quickly disappearing into the depths of the clouds. Ling Xiao rubbed his nose as a trace of a smile appeared in his eyes. However, his attention soon fell on the chaotic world demonic ape. Little Xian Xian is really considerate. Knowing that this young master needs the demonic core of the chaotic world demonic ape, she killed this big guy in the blink of an eye. Hee, I'm rich now. Ling Xiao's eyes shone with excitement. With the chaotic world demonic ape's demonic core, Ling Xiao's heaven-devouring spiritual seed could be completely perfected. He might even be able to use it to break through to the Dragon Tiger realm. The chaotic world demonic ape was a peak 6th level demonic beast, comparable to a 9th level sky human realm expert. Its entire body was filled with treasures. Its fur, bones, and tendons could be used to refine powerful weapons. The blood essence in its body could be used to refine pills. Moreover, it was one of the treasures that Ling Xiao needed to break through to the 2nd level of the ancestral dragon secret technique, the Earth Dragon Physique. Ling Xiao took out the evil vanquisher ancient sword and began to dissect the chaotic world demonic ape. He stored the delicious meat on its body before pulling out its tendons, skin, and bones. The chaotic world demonic ape's fur was as smooth as jade and was impervious to fire and water. It was extremely sturdy and was most suitable to be made into powerful defensive treasures. With Ling Xiao's current powerful mental strength, it was enough to refine it into a high-grade defensive treasure. The chaotic world demonic ape's bones emitted a faint golden light and were extremely sturdy. It was an excellent material to be made into an offensive treasure. Fortunately, the space in the longevity ring was large enough to store such a huge chaotic world demonic ape. In the end, Ling Xiao found a head-sized demonic pill in the chaotic world demonic ape's dantian. It emitted a dazzling golden light without any impurities. It was as if it was cast from pure gold, buzzing and trembling. Streaks of sharp sword light rippled out from the golden monster core, containing unparalleled power. Ling Xiao's eyes suddenly lit up. This was his most important goal. The chaotic world demonic ape's demonic pill was a peerless spiritual seed of the metal attribute. It was enough to complete Ling Xiao's heaven-devouring spiritual seed. Thinking of the various benefits of completing the heaven-devouring spiritual seed, Ling Xiao couldn't help but feel excited. A complete heaven-devouring spiritual seed could not only devour the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, but also the vital energy in the body of an expert and the blood essence of powerful creatures to nourish itself. As the saying went, the Tao of heaven was to take from the surplus and make up for the deficiency. The Tao of man was to take from the deficiency and make up for the surplus. The heaven-devouring secret technique had almost interpreted this sentence to the extreme. More importantly, once the heaven-devouring spiritual seed was completed, Ling Xiao could cultivate the 7 limits divine skill of devouring heaven and destroying earth. This divine skill was earth-shattering and could sweep across the world. It was created by Ling Xiao when he was at the peak of his previous life. It could kill gods and destroy demons. It was also the reason why Ling Xiao suppressed Supreme Real Dragon and became the leader of the 10 titled Supreme Beings. Come here. Ling Xiao's eyes lit up. He reached out and grabbed the demonic pill, keeping it in the longevity ring. At this point, he was finally at ease. At this moment, a powerful roar came from afar. The earth shook as if countless demonic beasts were heading in this direction. These beasts are really fast. Ling Xiao smiled faintly. He knew that these were the demonic beasts of the fearsome beast mountain. They could not wait to pounce on the chaotic world demonic ape after it died. After all, demonic beasts advanced very slowly. However, if they devoured the flesh and blood of powerful demonic beasts, they could advance very quickly. Therefore, many demonic beasts were in a frenzy. Ling Xiao withdrew his aura and left silently, returning to the valley. The valley was very hidden. It was surrounded by mountains that pierced into the clouds. It was very difficult for ordinary people to find this valley. Ling Xiao was prepared to refine the demonic pill of the chaotic world demonic ape in this valley and cultivate the heaven-devouring spiritual seed to the complete realm. In the valley, there seemed to be a trace of the beauty's fragrance. However, the beauty had passed away. Ling Xiao felt an inexplicable sense of melancholy in his heart. Thinking of Ji Feishuan's alluring body and perfect curves, Ling Xiao's heart was suddenly filled with passion. I haven't broken through yet, and I'm already being invaded by my inner demons? Ling Xiao's body trembled. His eyes instantly regained clarity and a sharp light shot out from them. Breaking through from the spirit transformation realm to the dragon tiger realm was the process of the integration of the small world and the outer world. Yin and yang were in harmony, and the dragon and tiger worked together to draw the power of the heavens and earth to form the martial Tao seed. The true qi in the body would also transform into the powerful innate energy. If the true qi in the spirit transformation realm was water, then the innate energy would be steel needles. They could not be compared at all. Therefore, after breaking through to the dragon-tiger realm, one's combat strength would also increase by a lot. However, during the process of breaking through, the integration of the inner world and outer world was very likely to be invaded by external demons. If one's mental strength was not strong enough, they might suffer from qi deviation. Chapter 132. In the valley, there was a waterfall and a spring. Mist filled the air, and the bamboo forest was elegant. It was like a fairyland, emitting a transcendent aura. Ling Xiao dug a cave behind the white waterfall with the evil vanquisher sword and sealed it with rocks from the inside. Ling Xiao's breakthrough this time was no small matter. It was inevitable that there would be some commotion. Therefore, he was extremely cautious and chose a secret place for seclusion. The cave behind the waterfall was filled with mist that could conceal one's aura. Even if a demonic beast accidentally barged in, it wouldn't be able to discover Ling Xiao. It's worthy of being an archaic species. The metal attribute energy in this demonic core is really pure. Ling Xiao's eyes revealed a trace of anticipation. He recalled the infinite gung metal sword qi used by the chaotic demonic ape. It seemed to be able to tear the sky apart and contained unparalleled divine power. It forced Ji Feishuan to use the purple firmament godly sword art to resist it. The metal attribute energy was sharp, pure, and could penetrate everything. It was the most offensive energy among the 5 elements. Refine. Ling Xiao's eyes flashed. He immediately hugged the demonic core of the chaotic demonic ape in his arms like a chicken. His body emitted a golden divine light as the violent heaven-devouring true qi surged and drowned the demonic core in an instant. Buzz. Ling Xiao felt a trace of desire coming from the heaven-devouring spiritual seed. It buzzed and trembled. The heaven-devouring spiritual seed in his sea of qi shone brightly, revealing 4 colors of red, black, yellow, and green. It was like 4 divine chains of order. It extended out of his dantian and surrounded the demonic core. Boom! The violent energy in the demonic core exploded in an instant. It was like a thunderclap. Strands of golden divine light flowed. It was bright and sharp, containing a fluctuation that could penetrate the void. This was the pure gung metal energy, which was also the origin of the metal attribute spiritual energy. Now, it emerged from the demonic core and rushed into Ling Xiao's body. The violent energy surged into Ling Xiao's body. His entire body shone with golden light. Mysterious runes lingered around him. His entire body turned into a huge golden vortex that devoured all the energy. The gung metal energy in the demonic core wreaked havoc in Ling Xiao's meridians. Traces of blood spread out. Ling Xiao felt like he was being cut into pieces. Endless pain surged out of his body. That kind of pain penetrated to the bone marrow, and his entire body felt like it was being torn into countless pieces. Furthermore, it seemed like it would take forever. Ling Xiao still had to stay awake and carefully sense everything in his body, guiding the heaven-devouring spiritual seed to refine the golden gung metal energy. Even though he had already experienced it once in his previous life, Ling Xiao's face was still slightly pale from refining the power of heptametal this time. It was too painful. Devour the heavens and earth, return to the origin, the chaos spiritual seed, enter my body. Ling Xiao murmured softly. The simple syllables seemed to shake the surrounding void. Facing the pain that was enough to make people go crazy, Ling Xiao did not say a word. His eyes became brighter and brighter, with a kind of power that could see through people's hearts. Rumble. In the end, as strands of heaven-devouring true qi entwined and filled the air with runes, the golden Yao core suddenly exploded. Countless rays of golden light and violent energy dazzled the eyes, illuminating the pitch-black area as if it were daytime. The strange thing was that the violent golden gung force did not disperse. Instead, it was bound by a mysterious force. It turned into a golden stream of light and slowly entered Ling Xiao's mouth. As the power of the Yao core was fully released, Ling Xiao's meridians could no longer withstand it. Suddenly, some of his meridians directly exploded. The golden gung force wreaked havoc, although most of it was quickly absorbed by the heaven-devouring spiritual seed. However, there was still a small part that dispersed in Ling Xiao's body, causing his internal organs and meridians to begin to tremble. He suffered heavy injuries. The Yao core was the essence of a demonic beast. Although the chaotic world demonic ape was killed, how violent was the energy contained in its Yao core? If Ling Xiao could use a special method to detonate the Yao core, it would be more terrifying than the self-destruction of an ordinary heaven realm expert. Therefore, one could imagine how destructive this violent energy would be when it dispersed in Ling Xiao's body. Although most of the energy was absorbed by the heaven-devouring spiritual seed, it was still a big burden to Ling Xiao. Rumble. The golden light around Ling Xiao became more and more dazzling. Strands of divine light intertwined and runes spread out. They were like divine chains that connected heaven and earth, transmitting a mysterious power. Ling Xiao sat cross-legged in the midst of the mist, as if he was a giant that could split heaven and earth. A clear dragon's roar resounded, shaking heaven and earth. The golden divine light condensed, as if it had turned into a huge golden flood dragon that coiled around Ling Xiao's body. The flood dragon's blood burned in an instant, and a powerful vitality spread out. It was as if the vitality could split the heavens. The broken meridians and damaged internal organs in Ling Xiao's body began to be healed by the powerful vitality, and it became stronger and stronger. Ling Xiao was completely immersed in the cultivation of the heaven-devouring secret skill. A faint five-colored brilliance began to bloom around his body, mysterious and unpredictable. Just like that, Ling Xiao was like a god, sitting cross-legged in the endless brilliance, forgetting everything. After an unknown amount of time, an extremely powerful aura radiated from Ling Xiao's body. White, azure, black, crimson, and yellow lights shot out, forming a five-colored divine halo behind Ling Xiao's head. It was mysterious and unfathomable. The five-colored divine ring trembled slightly, and there seemed to be 5 ancient seal characters flashing in it. In the end, it spun wildly, turning into a huge vortex, devouring the heavens, devouring the earth, refining everything. In Ling Xiao's qi, the five-colored light of the heaven-devouring spirit seed circulated, emitting a mysterious, ancient, and majestic aura. The true energy in the entire qi began to rotate rapidly along with the heaven-devouring spirit seed. Rumble! Lightning filled the air, as if it was splitting heaven and earth. The momentum was shocking. Ling Xiao's cultivation began to skyrocket at a speed visible to the naked eye. 8th level of the Spirit Transformation Realm. 9th level of the Spirit Transformation Realm. Early 9th level of the Spirit Transformation Realm. Mid 9th level of the Spirit Transformation Realm. Late 9th level of the Spirit Transformation Realm. And complete 9th level of the Spirit Transformation Realm. In the end, it was as if millions of divine lights shot out from Ling Xiao's qi, shaking the heavens and displaying the endless might of heaven and earth. Ling Xiao's cultivation also broke through the bottleneck of the 9th level of the Spirit Transformation Realm, reaching the 10th level of the Spirit Transformation Realm. The 10th level of each realm was like a forbidden existence that couldn't be spoken of. However, Ling Xiao knew that he was completely standing in this realm. It was like standing at the peak of a mountain and taking that step, standing at the peak of the heavens, completely breaking the barrier of humanity. The dragon's roar was clear and peerless, shaking the heavens. At the same time, it was accompanied by a tiger's roar, causing the earth to tremble. The clouds in the sky changed color, and endless rays of light descended. Chapter 133. Dragons and tigers coexist, and the wind and clouds change. The power of heaven and earth surged wildly, sweeping away all the spiritual energy within 1,000 miles. Ling Xiao devoured all of it. An unprecedented feeling of power appeared in Ling Xiao's heart. Ling Xiao also opened his eyes from his cultivation. Whoosh whoosh. 2 golden divine lights shot out, and in Ling Xiao's eyes, there seemed to be a mysterious scene of dragons and tigers converging, making him look incomparably mysterious and majestic. The Dragon-Tiger Realm. So this is the real Dragon-Tiger Realm. Ling Xiao sighed softly, and a kind of enlightenment appeared in his heart. 4 ordinary martial artists, breaking through from the 9th level of the Spirit Transformation Realm to the Dragon-Tiger Realm would require their inner world to connect with the outer world and undergo the baptism of the power of heaven and earth. The true energy in their body would transform into innate true energy and possess the divine power to subdue dragons and tigers. But how could they compare to Ling Xiao? Ling Xiao stood at the peak of the 10th level of the Spirit Transformation Realm, peeking into a trace of the power of heaven, and using the true meaning of martial arts to condense the dragon-tiger true form, revealing an incomparably terrifying power. The true dragon and white tiger avatars that had yet to dissipate in the air were the best proof. Moreover, The heaven-devouring spiritual seed in Ling Zhao's body had been completely perfected, turning into the foundation of Ling Zhao's martial arts, which helped him break through to the Dragon Tiger realm in one fell swoop. The wordless heavenly book seemed to know that this transformation was extremely important to Ling Zhao, and surprisingly, it didn't come out to snatch the energy. The majestic energy of the chaotic world demonic ape was refined by Ling Zhao without reservation, which allowed him to have such a major breakthrough. However, the commotion caused by the breakthrough this time is a little too big. Ling Zhao's eyes revealed a trace of a wry smile. This valley was only 100 miles away from the periphery of the fierce Beast Mountain range, and the Dragon Lake apparition in the void could be seen from 1,000 miles away. This kind of dragon tiger true form was simply unheard of, and it might attract the attention of some old monsters. Ling Zhao didn't want to be in the limelight. Boom! Ling Zhao smashed the mountain rocks outside the cave with a punch, and the aura of his body converged, turning into a faintly discernible shadow as he rushed out of the valley. Just as the dragon tiger true form was condensed and revealed in the sky, in the depths of the fierce Beast Mountain range. A pair of eyes as bright as the sun flashed out from the endless fog. A terrifying aura swept out in all directions, and the countless demonic beasts in the surroundings began to tremble, letting out roars of unease. The core area of the fearsome Beast Mountain range was shrouded in mysterious mist all year round. It was a forbidden area for countless demonic beasts, and no demonic beast dared to step into it. At this moment, the fog was churning and huge waves were surging. The scene was extremely terrifying. It was as if a primordial ferocious beast had awoken from its slumber, emitting an incomparably terrifying aura. The dragon and tiger true forms have appeared and the secret territory of immortality has appeared. It seems like the 8 Desolates region is going to be in chaos again. An aged voice rang out, rumbling like thunder. Within those blazing eyes, traces of vicissitudes and sighs flashed. Within the rising mist, one could faintly see an incomparably huge figure. Boom! Blazing runes suddenly lit up, and huge chains emitting 7-colored light shot out from the depths of the earth, instantly binding that huge figure and pulling it towards the depths of the endless fog. You can't trap me. My mission isn't here, but in. The aged voice contained a hint of anger, but then it abruptly stopped, and the terrifying aura also slowly quieted down. The fearsome Beast Mountain range regained its tranquility. It was just that the fog in the deepest part of the mountain range seemed to have become thicker. Not long after Ling Zhao left, a crane's cry rang out. It pierced through gold and cracked stones, cut through layers of clouds, and landed in the sky above the valley. It was a huge red-crowned crane that looked very majestic. Its entire body emitted a faint spiritual light, and it was surrounded by clouds and mist. On top of the red-crowned crane stood a thin black-robed old man and a few young men and women with extraordinary temperaments. The black-robed old man's face was clear, and his aura was as deep as the sea. His aged eyes revealed a look of bewilderment. The manifestation of the dragon tiger true form is a phenomenon that only appears when a supreme genius breaks through to the dragon tiger realm. Why would it appear here? The black-robed old man's eyes flickered as he fell into deep thought. Legend had it that when those supreme youths broke through to the dragon tiger realm, the dragon tiger true form would appear, causing heaven and earth to resonate with it and manifest a phenomenon. Could it be that a young supreme being had appeared here? Elder Crane, I think this dragon tiger true form is a prank created by a senior who is in seclusion, right? How could someone in this world manifest the dragon tiger true form when breaking through to the dragon tiger realm? A handsome young man clearly didn't believe it and said aloud. That's right. When senior brother Snake broke through to the dragon tiger realm, he manifested the dragon tiger illusory form and was already praised as a demonic talent. There are not many people in the entire sect who are more talented than senior brother Snake. How could there be such a terrifying person in this barren mountain range? I don't believe it either. A very seductive and scantily clad woman smiled. In the middle of them stood a handsome young man in a black robe who looked to be in his 20s. He was vaguely regarded as the center of attention, and his body emitted a powerful aura. It was extremely cold, and his eyes flickered with a cold light that seemed to be able to pierce through the void. The black-robed old man thought for a moment, and said with a faint smile, "You're right. Perhaps it's really the doing of a senior." Wu Hen's aptitude is indeed very strong, reaching the Grandmaster realm at such a young age. In the entire 8 Desolates region, he can be considered as a supreme youth. The capital of the Great Barren Ancient Kingdom is our last stop. I hope we can find some clues there. Elder Crane, you flatter me, the black-robed young man said indifferently. All right, everyone cheer up. This time, you can go to the capital of the Great Barren Ancient Kingdom to see the geniuses of the Great Barren Ancient Kingdom. It will be very beneficial for you to spar with them, Elder Crane warned. Great Barren Ancient Kingdom? Hee, Elder Crane, aren't you overestimating them? I heard that there aren't many in the younger generation of the Great Barren Ancient Kingdom that are worthy. I'm afraid they aren't qualified to spar with us. That's right. The geniuses of the Great Barren Ancient Kingdom are all trash. I can defeat them all with one hand. However, I heard that there's a genius princess in the royal family of the Great Barren Ancient Kingdom. She has become a disciple of the Sun Moon Star sect. If we meet her, perhaps we can spar with her. The genius princess is mine. Don't fight with me for her. The other young men laughed arrogantly and did not take Elder Crane's words to heart. Let's go. Chapter 134. Ling Xiao left the valley and headed in the direction of the capital city. He walked like the wind, sweeping through the forest at an extremely fast speed, like a blurry shadow. In the blink of an eye, he had traversed a distance of hundreds of feet. Not long after Ling Xiao left, he was keenly aware that there were a few powerful auras heading towards the valley. There are demonic beasts and human experts. This fearsome beast mountain range is really full of crouching tigers and hidden dragons. But this time I've really gone too far. Ling Xiao smiled bitterly, thinking as he hurried on. He checked his Dantian Qi Si and found that there was a mysterious change in his Qi Si. It was as bright as the Milky Way. The heaven-devouring spiritual seed emitted a 5-colored light, slowly turning into a huge vortex. The endless heaven-devouring true Qi in the surroundings rotated around it. Each strand was dazzling and contained an unparalleled power. The heaven-devouring true Qi could be called the heaven-devouring true Gang after experiencing the suction force of the heaven and earth. A strand of heaven-devouring true Qi was dozens of times stronger than before. It was comparable to the Gang Qi in the body of a Grandmaster. Moreover, after the heaven-devouring spiritual seed was completed, the 5 elements circulated endlessly. It could absorb the spiritual Qi of the heaven and earth at any time and anywhere to replenish itself. Ling Xiao no longer had to worry about his genuine Qi running dry. Even if he used all his strength to perform powerful martial arts, the heaven-devouring true Qi in his body could quickly recover. To a certain extent, Ling Xiao's recovery ability was even more abnormal than that of a Grandmaster expert. I can finally practice the 7 limits divine skill of devouring heaven and earth. From now on, I will have one more powerful attack method. Ling Xiao took a deep breath, and a trace of anticipation appeared in his eyes. The 7 limits divine skill of devouring heaven and earth was created by Ling Xiao when he was at the peak of his previous life. It was based on the heaven-devouring secret skill and reference to countless martial arts in the world. It was a peerless divine skill that could slay gods and slay demons. This divine skill used one's own strength to activate the power of all things in the world, as if punishing on behalf of the heavens. Its power was unparalleled. As Ling Xiao hurried on, the 7 limits divine skill of devouring heaven and earth began to appear in his mind. This was a martial art created by Ling Xiao, so no matter what, Ling Xiao would never forget it and could instantly comprehend its martial truth. Devouring the heavens and destroying the earth 7 limits divine technique, for elephant sky striking style. The heaven-devouring spirit seed began to tremble slightly. Then, a powerful surge of heaven-devouring true Qi burst out, transforming into 4 mysterious beams of light, ready to fight against the heavens. Ling Xiao suppressed this thought, knowing that now was not the time to cultivate this divine technique. The 7 limits divine art of devouring the heavens and extinguishing the earth had a total of 7 styles. The 4 elephants strike the heavens was the first style. It used one's own strength to trigger the power of the 4 elephants and transform it into an unparalleled offensive power. Ling Xiao only circulated it slightly, but he could already feel his heaven-devouring true qi surging wildly, as if it was going to be depleted in an instant. With my current strength, even if I use the 4 elephants strike the heavens, I'm afraid I won't be able to fight anymore after one attack. Ling Xiao sighed softly, but his eyes were incomparably bright. However, this power is indeed extremely terrifying. The 4 elephants strike the heavens condense the power of the 4 elephants of earth, water, wind, and raging fire. It could be dispersed or gathered. When used, the wind and clouds would surge, the heavens and the earth would change color, and it could erupt with unparalleled divine power. In Ling Xiao's previous life, when he used the 4 elephants strike the heavens as a supreme, he had once killed several supremes of the same realm with one attack. He broke the sky and recreated the chaos. This showed how abnormal this move was. Ling Xiao did not use it. Instead, as he hurried along, he comprehended the various mysteries of this move in his heart. His body seemed to be surrounded by the 4 elephants' divine light, which was very magical. Just as Ling Xiao was about to leave the ferocious Beast Mountain range, he suddenly felt a cold, murderous intent from the dense forest in front of him. The murderous intent was extremely faint. If it were not for Ling Xiao's incomparably strong mental strength, he would not have noticed it at all. Is it the underworld again? You guys are really haunting me like ghosts. A trace of coldness flashed in Ling Xiao's eyes. From the dense forest in front of him, Ling Xiao could feel that there were more than a dozen auras fluctuating. It seemed that the underworld had really put in a lot of effort this time. They actually sent out so many assassins in one go. However, Ling Xiao was very curious about how the underworld's assassins could find him again and again. However, this kind of secret was very difficult to torture out. The previous 2 times had failed. In that case, I'll use you guys to test my 4 elephants strike the heavens. Ling Xiao said faintly. Under the perception of his powerful mental strength, the figures and positions of the 15 assassins in the dense forest were all clear. There were no secrets at all. Therefore, at this moment, these assassins were living targets for Ling Xiao. Ling Xiao's figure did not stop. Like a faint stream of light, he swept into the dense forest. The first assassin was hiding in an ancient tree at the periphery of the dense forest. He was dressed in a green robe and his aura was very faint. He blended into the branches and leaves. Seeing Ling Xiao enter the dense forest, a murderous intent flashed in his eyes. A long green sword silently appeared in his hand and stabbed toward Ling Xiao. The long sword was like a poisonous snake that was dipped in poison. Without any sound, it pierced toward Ling Xiao's heart. It was extremely ruthless. At the same time, Ling Xiao's figure seemed to be enveloped by countless cold lights. A few cold sword lights, an imperceptible poisonous fog, and hidden weapons that flickered with cold light were all aimed at Ling Xiao's vital points at the same time. These assassins cooperated with each other very well. This wave of attacks almost sealed off all of Ling Xiao's possible escape routes. Killing intent filled the air. Even a grandmaster would die in the face of such an assassination. A faint mocking look appeared in Ling Xiao's eyes. His figure flashed and 4 streams of light seemed to pass by around him. They merged into the void, and Ling Xiao disappeared in an instant. All the assassins' attacks lost their target. A series of metal clanging sounds could be heard, and poisonous fog filled the air. What? The assassins were shocked. Their expressions became extremely solemn. Without thinking, they leaped and fled into the distance. If the attack did not hit, they would flee immediately. They all knew that the person in front of them was definitely not someone to be trifled with. He was not someone they could deal with on their own. Want to leave? I'm afraid it's too late. I'll use you guys to test my 4 elephants hitting the sky style. Ling Zhao's indifferent voice sounded as if it was floating in every corner of the dense forest. Rumble. Thunder roared between heaven and earth. In an instant, the wind and clouds changed color. The earth shook, and there seemed to be a raging fire burning in the void. Ling Zhao's figure appeared in midair. Surrounded by the 4 divine lights, he faintly displayed an extremely terrifying scene. Rumble. The divine light of the 4 symbols swept over in an instant. One could faintly see the Xianhuang earth qi, raging flames, fierce winds, and torrential water all fusing together to form an earth-shattering killing force that enveloped all the assassins. This was not martial arts, but the power of the gods. It was the power of the way of heaven. It made a trace of despair appear in the eyes of those strong-willed assassins. Chapter 135. 4 Elephants Sky Striking Style. This was the 7 limits divine technique of devouring heaven and destroying earth. Ling Zhao's eyes shone with a hint of sharpness and aggressiveness. It was as if he had transformed into the heaven-devouring supreme from his previous life. Ling Zhao took a deep breath. Suddenly, endless spiritual energy rushed towards him and was swallowed by Ling Zhao. His body shone brightly, and the feeling of weakness dissipated a little. 4 Elephant Sky Striking Style was a sublimated move. It used one's own strength to trigger the power of heaven and earth, and unleashed a power that could shock heaven and earth. Even with Ling Zhao's insane recovery ability, he couldn't sustain it for long. Although with my current strength of true qi, my energy reserve is almost depleted after one attack. However, with the ancestral dragon secret technique, my physical strength isn't any weaker than true qi attacks. In fact, it's even stronger. Ling Zhao thought to himself. If someone really thought that they had grasped Ling Zhao's weakness and attacked him after he used the 4 Elephant Sky Striking Style, they would be in for a big surprise. With Ling Zhao's current terrifying physical strength, even a supreme being expert would die without a doubt under one punch. Ling Zhao searched through the dozen or so assassins. Other than the silver tokens and some poisons and hidden weapons, there was no other useful information. Now, silver token assassins were no longer a threat to Ling Zhao. Even if a gold token assassin came, Ling Zhao wouldn't be afraid. After passing through the dense forest in front of him, it suddenly became clear. In front of him was an endless field. The plains were vast, and the land was extremely wide. In the distance, there was a huge city sitting on the plains. Under the sunlight, it emitted a faint green glow. Is that Qinghua City? Ling Zhao's eyes flashed as he recognized the huge city. It was Qinghua City. Qinghua City was only 1,000 miles away from the capital. If Ling Zhao hurried, it wouldn't take long for him to reach the capital. Let's go to Qinghua City to see them. The faces of Ren Tianxing, Old Wu, and the others appeared in Ling Zhao's mind. Of course, there was also the pretty Ren Qingluo and the cute Yu. The Skywalker escort agency had saved Ling Zhao, and Ren Tianxing and the others' forthrightness had won Ling Zhao's favor. Moreover, Ren Tianxing and the others seemed to be related to Ji Feishuan. Ji Feishuan had previously asked Ling Zhao to take care of Ren Tianxing and his daughter. Behind him was the majestic, ferocious Beast Mountain Range. The mountain range rose and fell continuously, and ancient trees towered into the sky, emitting a savage aura. In front of him was a vast plain and the huge Qinghua City. Ling Zhao walked towards the direction of Qinghua City. Every step he took covered a distance of more than 100 feet. His slender figure was elongated under the sunlight, and very quickly he disappeared from sight. A few hours later, Ling Zhao entered Qinghua City. Qinghua City was built using a type of green mole stone, and under the sunlight, it exuded a green brilliance, which was why it was called Qinghua City. Although Qinghua City wasn't as prosperous as Lifelong City, it still had a population of several 100,000. The city was bustling with activity as people came and went. Ling Zhao stopped a passerby and asked for the location of the Sky Escort Agency. However, when the passerby heard Ling Zhao asking for the location of the Sky Escort Agency, he was so frightened that his face turned pale. He quickly shook his head and left in a hurry without saying a word. Ling Zhao asked a few more passersby, And the result was the same. Everyone was terrified and afraid that they couldn't avoid him. It seems that something has happened to the Sky Escort Agency. A cold light flashed in Ling Zhao's eyes as he vaguely guessed. However, according to Ling Zhao's understanding, the governor of Qinghua City didn't care much about worldly affairs. Other than the governor, the most powerful agencies were the Sky Escort Agency and the Dragon Tiger Escort Agency. Wang Wei, the head escort of the Dragon Tiger Escort Agency, and a large number of elites had died in the ferocious Beast Mountain range. Logically speaking, nothing should have happened to the Sky Escort Agency. However, looking at the expressions of the passers-by, it was obvious that something had happened to the Sky Escort Agency. Where is the Sky Escort Agency? What happened? Ling Xiao grabbed a fierce-looking man. He was dressed in black and carried a long saber on his back. At first glance, one could tell that he was a martial artist, and his cultivation had reached the true Qi realm. When the man saw that his arm was grabbed by a young man, he was immediately unhappy and scolded, "You're fucking looking for death." Before the man could finish his sentence, Ling Zhao's eyes flashed and a fierce and monstrous aura oppressed him. The man in black was so scared that his face turned pale. He knew that he had kicked an iron plate. "Hero, please spare my life. Hero, please spare my life." The man in black fell to his knees and kowtowed like he was pounding garlic. "Get up and answer my question." Ling Xiao frowned and showed a trace of impatience. "Hero, could it be that you've just arrived in Qinghua City?" The man in black carefully glanced at Ling Xiao. When he saw Ling Xiao frown, he quickly explained, "Hero, you don't know. A few days ago, the head escort of the Sky Escort Agency, Ren Tianxing, came back and announced that the head escort of the Tiger Escort Agency had died in the ferocious Beast Mountain range. Then, he began to occupy the Tiger Escort Agency's territory and became the biggest force in Qinghua City. Moreover, Wang Wei never appeared. Everyone guessed that maybe Wang Wei was really dead, and that he was killed by Ren Tianxing. Although the Tiger Escort Agency and the Sky Escort Agency had always been in conflict, no one could do anything to the other. Who would have thought that Ren Tianxing would be able to kill Wang Wei? Just when we thought that the Heaven Escort Agency would become the biggest force in Qinghua City, Wang Wei's younger brother, Wang Hu, who was cultivating outside, came back with a powerful young master and attacked the Heaven Escort Agency the day before yesterday. Who would have thought that Ren Tianxing would be seriously injured by the young master that Wang Hu brought? Wang Hu regrouped the people of the Huwei Escort Agency. At the same time, he gave the Heavenly Escort Agency 3 days to commit suicide and hand over Ren Qingluo and Ren Qingyu to the young Grandmaster. Otherwise, he would exterminate the entire Heavenly Escort Agency. Not even a chicken or dog would be spared. Today is the last day, and the Sky Escort Agency is about to be destroyed. Therefore, no one in Qinghua City dares to have anything to do with the Sky Escort Agency. Hero, you won't be able to find out anything about the Sky Escort Agency. The black-clothed man told Ling Xiao the location of the Heaven Escort Agency and ran away in terror. Wang Hu a young master? Ling Xiao's eyes flickered, revealing a trace of coldness. A young master who could defeat Ren Tianxing in one move? Could he be a disciple of a martial Dao Holy Land? I'd like to see who dares to say such arrogant words and wipe out the Sky Escort Agency. Ren Tianxing and his daughter were Ling Zhao's saviors. Now that Ren Tianxing was seriously injured and that so-called young master was trying to get his hands on Ren Qingluo and her sister, Ling Zhao's heart was filled with rage. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.